is the wrong intro. I pressed the wrong button.
Hi guys, welcome to Timelines Talks, we promise. You fucking schmuck.
Hello everyone and welcome. I promise this is actually Timelines Talks, but the one thing I forgot to do...
You rank amateur.
The one thing I forgot to do was change the intro.
It would be the USS You Fucking Schmuck.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, maybe I pressed the wrong button and queued up the wrong intro there, but never mind. Anyway, welcome to Timelines Talks, the premium exclusive #1 show for all things.
You have a stream deck, they're all on buttons.
I know, but I pressed the wrong one.
The series finale. This is the last time you're going to see us.
So yes, for those that don't know, we have closed captions now. So hit the if you're watching on on Twitch, hit the CC button, and it might work, it might not. It's a bit tenuous. Who knows? It gets a bit confused between who's talking.
Anyway. I've got it enabled, and it's labeling you correctly as a schmuck. So
fantastic. Anyway, yes, welcome. Thank you for joining us this week. I'm joined by my two wonderful, lovely co-hosts, Stars and Auto, and thank you to Venomous for subscribing, and thank you to Cranky for subscribing. Your money goes towards our wonderful charity drive, which we'll be having later in the year. At any rate, so we've got a
later in the year.
Later in next year, sorry, yes.
Yes, it's still 2022. You can't get away from it.
Very soon it won't be. Yes, we've got a lot coming up this show. And Automaton 2000, thank you for subscribing. Just paying your own wage there. And No Name Namer, thank you for subscribing. Look at it, keep it coming in, keep it coming in. It's the hype train in a minute. There we go. Hype train's close. Anyway.
I haven't worked my wrist this hard since I was 14.
Wow, setting the bar low there. Okay, yeah, we got a packed show.
You guys think we're joking? This is really the last Timelines Talks.
Twitch Jay! Thank you for subscribing. Oh, thank you guys. I do appreciate you very much. You guys are the best.
This is drunk. We're doing drunk stream too, by the way. I brought out the beer for this one.
You are. Okay,
I'll do it.
We are.
How are you guys getting so many fucking subscribers? I went 40 packs without a subscriber.
Ooh, deep meta joke.
Oh dear.
What was I talking about? God knows. Right, yes, things we are doing this week. We are talking about the upcoming announcements about the boss battles, the upcoming mega, the objective event, and we might have a few little niggles and a few little problems we are going to be addressing. Also, talking about what we're going to be doing next year and the plans for the rest of this year as well. But first, you know what our subscribers are? They're awesome, and as are everyone in the chat that subscribed. That submitted show titles, and I need to find the right button because my stream deck is doing all sorts of weird things today.
And now you're going to play the Timelines Talks intro.
I am, yeah. No, I'm going to press this button, which should bring up the... No, there we go. The Darbo. Thank you, everyone, for the submitted show titles. Let's spin and see who wins a sub.
Wait.
Boota is the winner of the sub. We will sort you out very soon. So
I have to point out, there's a little square of a JPEG that's not quite loaded in properly.
Oh, hang on. Where's it on the wheel?
On that Darbo wheel.
Oh yeah. There's some issues there. I need to sort that out.
We had to pay our fair share to the Fringy Commerce Association.
Yes. Anyway. So. Quick one. We have our other show, Star Trek, which we've been continuing on. We just finished the pilots, and we're now embarked into our regular episodes of the stream. So I've got a few more to edit, and there's some coming up soon. But have a look on the YouTube for those. They've been a lot of fun. And if you want to vote on the next episodes, and you are a subscriber, we'll be putting periodic votes up for you to pick our next episode and what we show. But yeah, go check those out on YouTube and all our other past stuff. Now, how about we get to the event winners this week. So, congratulations to Hotep for Free Ukraine for winning a 5 of 5 Sealer in Shadow. Also, congratulations 2. Number 4, Mira Brody. Number 5, Ignomur. Number 7, Aliens. Number 14, Joshua 316 and Asus TF300D. Number 20, Black Knight. Number 23, Blue Angel. 27, Flash. 28, Sapko. 31, Gandoza. 41, Cat Lady herself, Pahura. And congratulations to this week's winners.
Rascally winner.
Congratulations to AJ Warp 9 for getting this, I think, first event win. I don't know if they've had one before, but 5 of 5, Rukia. For them. Number 2, Cream King himself, this Cisco. Number 6, Asimov. 14, Navark. 17, Blue Angel. 21, A Wide Brim. 24, Evans of Wales. Also at 24, Aliens. No, I must have written that down wrong. 31, Gazoo. 39, Palhura. 40, Mira Brody. And 47, our Voyage Verifier extraordinaire, Mr. SSR's very own Nolian. So yeah, congratulations to everyone. Bonjour and claps all around. Well done for getting in the top 50. Fuck everyone else, try harder.
I mean, that includes all 3 of us, so
Indeed,
you know what that
does. Shout out to Wide Brim for having 4 copies of the Gold 1001 on his roster. So that's dedication.
And
do you mean shout out? Do you mean like send help?
Was Siete in there somewhere? Did I miss Siete? Oh no! I'm so sorry, Siete.
Idol.
Let me take a
so
look.
Terrible.
Professionalism.
I'm having it. Yeah, it's all happening today. I was so chilled out before the show. I thought I've got everything sorted. I've got everything prepped. I've got everything I need to know. Got the notes done. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be a seamless show. Nothing can go wrong.
Number 22, Tsunkatse Siete.
There we go.
Do you still have that trigger? Are you saying her name?
I don't. But
her saying her name. No.
Instead, have a laugh. There you go. Anyway.
Well, a double dumbass on you!
Gotta love the triggers.
It's the like the drum machine intro that gets me every time.
I feel like I'm in the first scene of Sister Act or something.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Shall we talk about before we go into game stuff? Shall we talk about what we're going to do with this channel? Because we're going to be changing things slightly next year. Hang on, what we got? Hype train is success. We succeeded on a hype train. There we go. Good thing. Twitch things I don't understand. Yeah, we're going to be changing things ever so slightly next year for a variety of reasons. Obviously, channel's still going to go ahead. We're still going to be doing some fun. I've got a lot of fun things planned next year, and some real dumb things as well. I've been playing around with some fun, stupid things that are going to be very entertaining. That I'm really hyped, looking forward to actually seeing if they work. But there are reasons.
We are rebranding as the Butter Zone.
We are not
that is going to be the new name of the channel. I've been pushing for this. The Butter Zone.
Man. So, it's growing on me. I kind of like the Butter Zone.
So we have been talking about. We're going to keep Timelines Talks. Timelines Talks is probably going to be like a 1 month thing, and we'll explain why in a bit. So we're going to have Timelines Talks as a show, but change the whole channel name. So we're not going to be Timelines Talks as an overall channel. And we've been trying to come up with names for ages. And there have been some good names out there. Stars, you came out with Buffer Time. I came up with Big came out with Trekking Ball, which I really liked, and also came up with the Butter Zone.
The Gorn Identity, among others.
I liked Horgon Conclusion was a good one.
Horgon Kelis Whisper. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
But probably the Butter Zone. So.
Yeah, I'm voting for Butter Zone. That's my vote.
To be discussed.
We have a digital whiteboard with all sorts of show ideas, segment ideas, recorded stuff, live stuff. We're going to be sort of branching out, but also staying close to home. But this truly is the last Timelines Talks in this kind of format that you've known for the last 2.5 years. So.
Yeah.
It's been a little while.
It's going to be. Should we talk about why, really? Because this isn't kind of like a spur of the moment. Oh, let's just change everything because we're getting all this sponsorship money or whatever. No. It's still the same kind of stuff. But do you guys want to lead us on? Why are we doing this? What is our impetus for still being entertaining but changing what we do?
I think the long and short of it is that like we started doing other shows about other things. But we still relate to Star Trek. We started doing our Star Trek show. We started doing our fashion trek, and we started doing our treks. And we kind of think, you know what? These are not more fun to do, because it's always fun to just sit around and talk about, crew and random mishaps and bullshit for about 2.5 hours, right? But it didn't mean engaging with some unpleasant aspects of timelines, I guess, is the kind of the diplomatic way to put it.
Go on, Auto.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I'm the one here who has no bleeps given, as I'm constantly saying things that would get us fired. So, yeah. No, we've had some issues with elements of WRG. Personally, like they're linked to this show. And then also, how many times do we come in here and they screwed that up again. And we did want to be a news and notes kind of program where you can tune in and see what you missed this week or what's upcoming. But a lot of that has included negativity, which, we don't look forward to coming on here and being negative. Unless they really screw up, then it is kind of fun bashing them. And you guys in Discord have noted that you don't really love the negative stuff too. So this episode will certainly contain elements of that as our salute to, it's our goodbye to the old format.
Rants.
So yeah,
the two fingers salute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So while we discuss why, you guys in chat, who I feel like I know all of you after 2 years of seeing your name scroll up in chat and blast us for screwing stuff up or laugh at our dumb jokes. You guys in chat, while we talk about this, let us know what aspects or what segments from the game, aspects from timelines that you enjoy, that you would want on a once a month type timelines talks, because we're probably going to drop the news and notes stuff. If there's a large feature like Fleet Boss Battles, of course we'll cover that, show some gameplay if we can, and maybe talk more about the Trek elements of New Crew, their episodes and their flavor and that kind of thing. And obviously there's lots of player resources out there if you just want the raw stats, but it's going to be a little less. Here's Crew 1, here's Crew 2, here's Crew 18. And a little more fun and levity and that kind of thing.
More beholder meters. More dumb shit like that. More just going, what's going on here? Like talk about the crew and just all the Star Trek aspects of things, which is what we want to do. And less more, here's this Super Red crew. Does anyone give a shit? No. Here's Ensign Hoyer.
I mean, that's part of it. But let's be real here. It's also a case of, I think that if you've watched our show for long enough, you kind of get an idea of what we think makes a good crew. We talk about whether or not they're unique. We talk about what they can offer like a roster like yours. We say like, here's what their collections look like. Here's the flavor. Here's how faithful this crew is. Here's what this crew is going to look like in a few years. And we've been doing that for 2.5 years. You said it's like you kind of know what we're going to recommend most of the time. I feel like if you've been listening to what we've been saying, you don't look at Dupla and go, "Ooh, I need to insta-cite him." You kind of go, "You know what? Maybe I'll hold off." I feel like we've imparted some of that methodology and some of that critical thinking. I like to think we have. Oh, that's what this all started off of the back of the Big Book of Behold advice.
Let's
and
be
it's
honest.
Our advice was,
Everyone watching is better people for having us in their lives. That's what we're trying to say humbly. And as you know, we're the most humble people on the planet, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
We could even be humble about our humbleness, can't we?
So humble right now.
Yeah.
I'm
But
much
it's also
more
a case
humble
of,
than you could ever imagine. Sorry.
but it's also a case of like, unless we want to spend 20 minutes on a crew, I'll be real here. We can't get as granular as the big book page about that crew. We can't tell you about every seat they outperform on. We can't tell you exactly how they perform on ship rankings versus others. We can't tell you what their med base is off the top of my head unless it's listed up on the screen in front of you. All of that is going to be listed on the big book thing. And then the flavor, the stuff that you actually want, we write and we update and we keep that curated, and we make sure that it's like it's funny and that it's not full of dead jokes, although there is occasional 1 or 2 dad jokes I throw in there because you have to. And it's like, I feel like that gets that portion done in a more compact way rather than like having to devote 5-10 minutes to, do you want to cite Quinn? No, you don't want to cite Quinn. You should cite Quinn. You should.
That being said, we have about 28 new videos coming up that we
Which
did
I need to get off my arse and edit.
So. Which, hey, I love the dad jokes. You know, Lucan and the Bashir's notes have some dad jokes, and if you want dad jokes, you have Jedliah. So to get more specific here, hashtag fuck WRG. Ben, Carmen, Joe, Fury, 4 employees that have been on our show before. Lovely people. I cannot say enough nice things about Ben, who essentially for the last 2 years since Disruptor being became WRG has done a lot of work engaging the community. You know, he came to us specifically. More recently, he's been on Discord, our Discord, the other Star Trek Timelines Discord, going above and beyond, checking in with people, checking in on people personally, like doing bug reports personally through Discord or whatever. And it's like, these people obviously have a passion for the game. You know, hearing Joe and Carmen and Fury answer these questions that we pose to them, going in depth, putting together PowerPoint presentations to show us, you know, what a little bit what behind the scenes is like. These guys have been absolutely great, and we really don't have any complaints about them. Unfortunately, there has been some other stuff that pops up that has been like, you know, we make jokes about our professionalism. Sometimes there have been things that, you know, for example, recently we've been asked to not share stuff from the forums through other media channels. Just us specifically, not anyone else. They don't seem to have a problem with, but us specifically, which is a little bit outrageous. Like, you know, in this day and age of social media, if you put something on the forums, people are going to talk about it on Discord or Twitter or whatever, but we've been asked not to.
Twice.
Look, Auto, if it's on a GeoCities account, it stays on a GeoCities account, okay?
Yeah, WG's MySpace page I removed from my favorites, unfortunately, so we won't be going back there.
Yeah.
When we've done some work for them in the past for some Q&A stuff, they said, oh, we're disappointed that you brought us this. And I'm like, well, actually, you asked us to. You guys aren't communicating with your own employees, and then they realized that after the fact. So there's some other things that, you know, we're not going to go into, but just a couple examples of, you know, just things that we're not, that kind of get us down. Because like I say, the guys that have been on this channel, that have been on your screens, wonderful people. We've had a great time with them. In fact, we will be having Ben on next month for zero complaints. This will be the last WRG complaint streams. We're going to get it all out today, but we're going to have a great time with the award show. And obviously any charity stuff, they've been enormously generous with their time and their money when they didn't need to be.
Announced that yet. I haven't announced the fact. I don't suppose managed to know. Ben's coming on and joining us for the award show. Sorry, I should mention that. I meant to put it in the announcement channel, and I haven't.
Yeah, it's a perfect time to do this in the middle of the WRG grievance.
Yeah, well,
show.
No, it's like a compliment sandwich. We just have the good stuff. Yay, Ben's coming on and join us for the. He's going to come and join a tux and watch as we all do some dumb awards and stuff. So yeah, you know, looking forward to that.
That will be good.
Yeah, and that's going to be fun. You know, we've always had a good time with Ben coming on the channel. Thank you, Agent Danielle, for subscribing. Thank you very, very much. But yes, I've always had a great time. You know, we've always had a great time with Ben on the stream, and you know, everyone that's come on, we've always agreed, and we've had our conversations about our needles and our complaints and things like that. Yeah, I think it's a difference. Do you want to talk also about a lot of work that you've put in Auto for for trait auditing and things like that, and something that may have kind of pissed me off in proxy a little bit, but really annoyed you at the time?
I think it irritated you more than me, because
it really pissed me off.
When I saw the request, I go, you know what, this is going to happen, isn't it? Yeah.
So you've put together, like, comprehensively, you've gone through, traits for crew all time, saying this is why they're wrong, or this is where I think there should be an improvement. You never kind of assumed that they would take every suggestion for whatever reason, but you would hope they are listening. You've done this for years, we've done it on this show. We said, like, oh, why hasn't this person got this trait, or why is this trait wrong? And traits matter in the game, and it's a very complex thing, because it matters for crew retrieval, it matters for events, for other specific things as well, for collections as well. However, there was a tweet put up on Twitter recently from sorry, I should have scrubbed the name out, but never mind. From someone to Star Trek Timers to Shan to say why does he not have the athlete trait? Why does Anbu Jitsu not have the athlete trait? Absolutely fair. Why doesn't he? Probably has been mentioned on the forums a million times. And then Star Trek Timeline says, why indeed? We'll have to see if we can remedy that. The next week, it gets remedied. So it just kind of read to me as a big fuck you to all the work that has been put on the forums by people that, and not just you, also other people have done trait suggestions. Other people have put work in to say like, well, this doesn't quite match. And for community forums, if they're looking at the forums and thinking this is where we're going to take our input, and then all of a sudden someone on Twitter just goes, oh yeah, what about this? And they go, oh yeah, maybe we should listen to them, but not all these people are on our specific forum for this specific thing to say this is where you should put your tips and suggestions.
Look, Idle, that was forum exclusive advice. It can't possibly leave the forum.
But still. So does this mean we just go to Twitter and put our suggestions? Like, where's the line here?
The irony of being asked not to share forum stuff to Twitter, but then ignoring the stuff on your own forum and taking Twitter suggestions is a little bit no. Companies absolutely take stuff from Twitter all the time, and that I don't have a problem with.
No, the actual way they've done it is fine, but
they did that, and that's great. But they did a hidden trade audit earlier this year and ignored the list because there's a dozen changes in there that never made it through. And I understand if it's such an overwhelming list right now. There's like 300 on the forums collated. I can understand if it's that big, it's going to take more time, and it's easier to just say, hey, here's this one suggestion that makes sense. We'll do that change. But I think they're putting the cart before the horse a little bit on that one.
It's not even like that. Your list is like, you're not even saying that, oh, you should make every suggestion of mine matter of fact because I know everything. It's not the thing. You at least want them to look at it and take a time to sort of say, oh, this is why we agree with this one, this is why we don't agree with this one, and say we've looked at the list and we agree with these ones or not these ones. You at least want them to acknowledge it and say like we care about the feedback that comes on the forums in these make it so threads, which are specifically for things. But it does seem like this was completely spur of the moment. I also understand why they would do things that would impact the bottom dollar. Will like say, this is affecting my ability to pay, and they'll go, oh shit, someone wants to pay for this and it's not working. Fuck, quick, let's go do that. Or something about a new released feature like Fleet Boss Battles. They were very quick on the mark on that. But this just seems random, out of the nowhere, and a bit trite and a bit insulting to the people that have put the work in with no acknowledgement. So it's
I feel like it needs clarifying that it's like, it's not a case of, hey, we three people, we three self-anointed gods of timelines communication. No, Idle, don't stop.
But insects before us.
You aren't wearing your Judge Q cosplay just yet. Now, it's literally not a case of, hey, we are the three arbiters of traits and timelines and what makes an accurate crew and what doesn't. We have our opinions. Right, but you shouldn't have to listen to us. The simple fact of the matter is that if it was someone else's trait audit, if it was like, I don't know, if our good friend Walt Koenig had spent like hours and hours and hours and hours putting together this comprehensive trait audit, even if there were a few things that I disagreed with, I'd be like, hey, he's right. Look at that. I would signal boost that. I'd be like, hey, this is an issue that demands attention. It's not the fact that they weren't listening to us, it's the fact that they weren't listening to anyone, and then they decided to listen to one random guy on Twitter. And it's like, that one random guy on Twitter had a point, but how many random guys on Twitter have to say their thing before you start ignoring them? Yeah. Why did the one response get so much more attention than the comprehensive, hey, I have a list of suggestions that you can look over? And it's like you say, it's not just a case of the time, it's also a case of for balance reasons, right? So maybe some crew don't have certain traits for balance reasons, because that is a thing. Game balance is a thing. But some of them, it's just arbitrary. Like, are you really telling me that like certain stamets just shouldn't have Starfleet or human? Like, that's obviously a mistake.
And every time there is a crew released or a thread on the forums, whether it be the event thread or there is a specific Tuesday crew thread that usually gets put up, there is always someone in there saying they should have this trait or they shouldn't have this trait. And until this point, I thought, well, they're just giving the forums the leeway. But if they're listening to people on Twitter but not the forums, and at least coming back with an explanation, say we couldn't make them human because frankly we don't like them. They could at least come up with something, at least acknowledgement. And at this point going forward, there needs to be at least some some sort of acknowledgement to say, like, this is why we're listening to this subset of the player base and not this subset. So what makes the difference? And again, like I said, it's not just about Auto and his list. It's about everyone in the forums' opinions and a kind of the widespread implication of that.
Well, let me be clear. I don't think this is like a huge systemic issue with WRG and the core of our game or anything like that. What Garrick and Shyporn said in chat here, absolutely true. It's much easier to do one thing than 300. And, she just saw that, WRG just saw that on Twitter. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, we'll do that. It doesn't take that much time. Fine. I don't have an issue with that. I'm just saying, me personally, along with the other things that we mentioned and other things like in private chats, obviously, that we're not going to bring up, it's one more thing that's like, okay, the time you put in it doesn't matter. It's not respected. It's not worth it. So just for me on a personal level, I'm not going to deal with that stuff anymore. I don't know how much I'm working with the big book or whatever. This whole retooling thing is basically pointing toward, okay, guys, what do you want to do with your time that is fun, that still gives back to the community, entertains other people without the risk of you spending all this time that is just going to kind of be brushed aside. So
we'd like people to...
It's really not... This specific thing is not a huge deal, but it's just one of several recently.
Yeah. I think we'd like, people to come and watch and be entertained and have fun and go away saying like, oh, did you see this cool fun thing that these guys... or this stupid thing these guys did, or something. That's why I've started making the YouTube shorts, because like I want people to see some of the funny... Like there's a rant that Stars goes on about Nemesis that I've yet to clip out that had me in stitches that I need to get out there. It's having fun with the channel, which is the more important stuff than doing the negatives. And like we say, we're not stopping Timelines Talks. Timelines Talks will be once a month, its own thing, but it will be very much geared towards here's the crew, here's why they're important in Star Trek. And a little bit, maybe we'll still do the event winners and things like that and talk about various members of the community. We'll still get guests on. We'll have probably more than ever, we'll have people on from the community if you guys want to come on and talk about timelines. Absolutely. We're always encouraged that. And we'll do that more, but we're also going to do some really stupid things like I'm going to bring back Trek Trivia as a regular feature. We'll be having people on to participate in an actual game show, which I'm going to be tooling up. We're going to have something we're kind of early days dubbing as pros and cons, where I'm going to get these two guys to argue opposite points of a topic in Star Trek, and they're going to have to measure of a man style. Someone's going to have to be the Riker arguing about a point they don't believe in. So, we're going to be doing some things like that. Star Trek, the Star Trek show, Trek fashion, things like that. We're going to be doing more fun things, more fun Star Trek things. And yeah, we're going to rename the channel as well. And hopefully we can come up with a name, and I've got a lot of work to do with branding.
The Butter Zone.
The Butter Zone.
Oh no, he's got you as well, hasn't he, Stars? We're gonna have to have this.
I'm way in favour.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I keep advocating for something with Trek, but I don't think you guys are gonna have it. I may have to get Shy and Big to veto here. I need to get them on my side.
I'm sorry, we have seniority.
Okay.
So,
we have the majority shares and everything, so
I have the big stream button.
I'm glancing at our whiteboard now. And by the way, I haven't seen too many suggestions, folks, from chat. What aspect, and don't say none, because that's going to hurt my feelings. What aspects of this show do you like best that you want to see endure in the new year and to come?
So rant about Star Trek show. Like, what don't we like?
Absolutely.
And just really get it off our chests.
But stuff like What the Dub that we've done before with all the Star Trek clips. I have a couple...
Oh, man, I want to do What the Dub again. I haven't played it in ages.
We'll do that. We might do that.
I have a couple parody things I'm going to be doing that are fun. Some recorded stuff. Fake crew, if you remember, we did the fake Simpsons crew in the style of Timelines cards. So, just getting on having a chat about, let's see... all the different the variants in game, like Star's always saying we need more Tucker variants. Maybe we'll spend 30 minutes and break down all the Enterprise characters and talk about their best crew, their worst crew, and crew to come, stuff like that. So a little more focus on the stuff in game and less about news and notes, less about
our personal grievances,
stuff that irritates us personally. That's what this episode is for, and then no longer.
Yeah, we'll get it all out today. Shall we talk about...
By the way...
Oh, go on.
Ben, while you're in chat, when you're on next month for the award show, We're going to pressure you Simpson style. Come on, Ben, say the line. We want you to say WRG Gaff of the Year. And we're going to record that and use that for all subsequent award show. So prepare yourself for that. And if you say no, I'm going to be working on my best Ben impression for that one. So.
No, what I can do is just go cut out of his face and put your mouth in the middle. Just like that.
No, don't do this. Well, surely you must have enough audio that you can just splice it together like some kind of Frankenstein's.
I wonder if I could feed Ben into an AI generator and probably get some sort of like, you know, AI model to spoof his voice back. That's probably possible, but more time than I have. Yeah, so another grievance we have recently. And another thing! We talk about the web store giveaway. They have tried twice now to give us away stuff free on their free platform for giving us things, and it just failed spectacularly on a second approach. I believe it was a couple of weeks ago they attempted to give us a free Elusive Treasures pull, or I think it was it an actual Behold? Or was it just a pull?
Well, all the pulls are a Behold.
No one really knows
One
at the end of it
Behold,
because we never got to pull it. Every time someone...
You can ask your wife about that.
Hey. Oh, you could ask her. She's drying her hair upstairs.
I haven't had the pleasure of meeting her. You know, that's fine by me.
Every time someone went to pull it, it just came up with error 404 or 4402, so it didn't work. So another case of they want to give us free stuff, but they just can't.
Well, it's gotten to the point, right? It's gotten to the point where there is a really amazing offer going on the web store right now. I'm kind of surprised it's not being shouted about from the hills because it's really fucking good value, right?
Which, by the way, it is for viewers. It is store.StarTrekTimelines.com, which we will shill because this offer is one of the best that they've done.
If you're gonna spend money on anything, probably spend it on this. Like, this is probably the best value you'll get in the game, next to probably even better than a Uber premium campaign.
Spockers to poll. No, Spockers to Pring.
That's a crossover.
That's a good one. I'm imagining that now. Spockers to Pring isn't really going to do any money worth. This is better use. For those that pay, for those who are VIP 0, I understand.
For those of you who choose. But here's the thing, right? I had to ask 3 people, does this offer work? And then they had to be like, yes, I pulled it. I can show you my daily encounter. It works. And I was like,
I showed you my deal. Please respond.
But does it work though? And it's like, I get it. I get that it's like, you know, web-based infrastructure is hard. It's genuinely hard. But it's like, you know, that's what they said. But it's just like, come on, guys. I imagine it worked for the $50 pointless.
So
for them.
Ben was in
pull up in chat, folks. Yeah. We want to know if you're buying this dilithium offer, if you would buy it if it was in game instead of the store, if you're not buying it at all.
So Ben was in the Timelines Discord recently, talking about various things, and people were sort of espousing the reasons they weren't so happy about using the web store. And there were a variety of reasons, not just, you know, because they didn't want to buy things from the game, but there's more like people seem to be more comfortable with buying things in-game as opposed to going to an external website, and that's a little bit understandable. I suppose when you've got your payment card attached to something like Google or Apple, you kind of know this is what I've always bought things with, this is what works. To go to a third... the kind of point that I raised at one point was like some people might be unfamiliar with going to a third-party website that they don't know about. I mean, it's got, well, you know, obviously it's got all the security, authentication, the HTTPS and all that. And Xsolar is a known vendor of some repute.
Digital goods.
Indeed, of digital goods. So it's not as a case of that, but I think generally the public are, especially people that buy things online, aren't as comfortable going to a website and paying for things as opposed for in the app. So I was going to ask you guys in chat, like, have you used the web store? And if you don't, what are your trepidations against it? I think something I put up and a few other people have put up as well is like, you know, you buy something on Google, you get Google points. You buy something on Amazon, you get Amazon coins, or you buy Amazon coins in bulk, or you get other stores. I think Galaxy Store has its own sort of internal currency and things like that to give you extra bonuses that you could use to pay for things. And people say, well, I'd rather get a deeper bonus because I've got like £5 worth of these points. I can use those. So I'd rather use those instead of going to an external website. So yeah, chat, please weigh in. What do you think about using the web store itself for what it is as opposed to not?
Yeah, no, it's this weird thing where it's like, I feel like there are two extremes on the internet, right? I feel like there are people who are like way too comfortable with giving out their details. So people who are generally older and who have no idea what web safety is and who unfortunately find themselves very vulnerable to being scammed. Or you're on the opposite end of the spectrum and you're like me and you have it so that any payment that gets above a certain threshold, I have to approve through my banking app and it pings me and it lets me know. Because it's like, no, I need to know exactly what's going through at all times. And it's like, does this like store look even remotely shady? I'm not even going to touch it. It's like for some people they don't have that nose about it. So I can understand them being worried about that kind of instance.
I just like to point out as well. I've used the web store a couple of times now, and it's been fine. So like, there's for anyone just worrying. Oh, is it unsafe? Are they saying it's unsafe? It's not. It's fine. Like I haven't had. A
no, it's just like I can understand people's trepidation.
Auto, so
yeah.
Then you bring your experience with it.
Well, so two issues. One, I tried to buy something and it charged me twice. I had to get on the phone with my bank and that was an ordeal. And secondly, the discount is actually, it cost me more than just buying stuff through the game. I still have stuff set up for payment overseas because that's where I lived for quite a while. And it's cheaper to pay in euros than it is that. It's also cheaper to pay on Galaxy Store or Amazon or several other than it is to pay through the web store with the extra US tax on top. So I'm not seeing really the deep discount. It's a very tiny discount with tax on top.
It's like that our end.
So
it's
it's
like
just
a
not
pound.
worth it for me at all.
And some people, they might look at it and go, well, it's £1 to go and enter my card details somewhere. And it's pure laziness. For some people, it is literally, it's £1 to enter somewhere else, or I could just tap and spend the pound just for the privilege of just not having to enter my card details. And to some people, that's worth the quid or worth the dollar or whatever it is,
well,
because it's not that much of a discount. If we're talking maybe about £5 or £6 or something that instigates the savings from the 20-30% cut that the stores take, maybe, but this doesn't seem to be enough of a variable.
Look,
Sorry,
Boimler is only $200. You can't beat that value anywhere.
Go on, Stars.
Oh boy. I was going to say that it's also a case of, like, I work for a company who, about a year or two ago, had a big, like, data breach, and a load of customer details got exposed, and it's like, after that happened, I was, like, a bit more aware of, maybe I should limit exactly who I decide to buy things from and enter card details into, and be like, So I can kind of understand, because as far as I know, Google and Apple haven't had any big breaches like that. I'm sure someone will correct me if they're wrong, because we have quite a lot of extremely web savvy individuals in the chat who can probably correct me. But it is also just a case of, it's not even just a case of, hey, I'm sure Exola is a reputable of some kind vendor of digital goods. I'm sure they have their security and their encryption and their authentication, right? But it's like every avenue is another potential way for some kind of data to go wrong or to be stolen. And it's like, that's another thing is like you say, I'm not saying that they are unsecure. I'm sure that WRG wouldn't partner up with them if they weren't like certain that it could at least handle, the bare minimum, which is, hey, can you process payments safely? Are you going to get all of our customer details like stolen? No, but okay, fine. That's the bare minimum you expect, right? But it's that's in addition to all the other issues. It's like people have every right to be paranoid online, and I totally understand that. So
yeah, use the web store or don't. It's your choice. But there's a good deal going on for Dilithium on there at the moment, so whatever. If you want it. Would you like to know what's not coming till next year? So, do you remember this all fancy 8.2?
That's way too easy of a punchline, man.
Okay. Oh. Sorry. 8.2.0, which is supposed to be the update for the fleet boss battles that will lock out fleet people from starting random boss battles.
9.2.0.
9.2.0. Did I say 8.2.0? What a mistake. That will not be coming until...
Star Trek Beverly Hills.
Yeah. No, yeah. Will not be coming until next year now, apparently.
Thank you.
Beverly Hills 9.2.0. All right, pause the show.
Oh, dear.
I'd just like to put join claps for stars on that one.
Thank you. Just a load of web developers having like really like stupid tacky sex.
Anyway,
Beverly Hills 9.2. Ben, take that back to your people. Lighten the mood.
Yeah.
In Slack.
Have a joke. Do it.
There you go. That's some web developer humor for you.
It ain't coming. You ain't getting it. Not ever. No. Well, you are getting it at some point next year. Is the general plan. But even though fleet battles are like they're itching at the bit, they're chomping at the bit to say, "Stop easing battles. You don't need to do it. It's a waste of valor. It's making us all look bad."
From the horse's mouth, we know a lot of you are eagerly awaiting this update, as it will contain the requested change to lock fleet boss battles start to admirals and officers only. We were hoping to be able to release 9.2.0 before the end of the year. That will unfortunately not be possible. That update also contains an engine update, and these things always take longer than originally planned. We'll share more info when we can.
Engine update is cool.
Yeah,
like little,
and that's very sort of
crunchy.
like tucked in there to say like what's in this engine update.
Unity
Get, like,
2.0.
You know, we're gonna get HD graphics. Are we gonna get like really fancy warp animations? Are they gonna make the
You know
planets
what?
actually not
I
look
would
weird?
settle for the not having to tap on my Starbase notifications twice to get rid of the number.
Yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
I'd settle for that.
I have to. I know what's going on, and I know they're not there. I still have to tap to clear it. It's a strange OCD. I know I've already done it.
What we've been
but I
taught.
might
It's
have
the
to
way
find
the video
more.
games teach you. You have to
Yeah.
touch the notification.
Quick, tap it till it won't stop. Speaking of tapping it till it won't stop, should we talk about some crew that you can win in events? No? Okay.
Because we're still talking about fleet boss battles. So
Okay.
while I pull this,
yes.
I want to
No,
hear.
sorry, there is something
I want
else.
to hear all about how your FBB is going.
It's going good. Thanks for asking.
It's going good. How are you?
Well, there's got to be a D's nuts joke in there somewhere, isn't there? Yes, so there has actually been a small update to for this Tuesday's upcoming update on the 29th. There's going to be a change to fleet boss battle, specifically for those that have been asking for Bellitrium 1 in their updated rewards. This has been a very requested topic. Well, you can get it in brutal battles more, which I think the general agreement was people want it in Ultra Nightmare. So when you've got past level 13, you still need the Bellitrium for your lower members of your fleet who have not quite got there yet, and you still want to collaborate and do one battle together instead of spreading yourselves out over about 3 or 4 or just the 2. You all do Ultra Nightmare, everyone wins, everyone gets Bellitrium 1, but no. Bellitrium 1 is now available in brutal up to 3, depending on how much destruction you do. I kind of feel this missed the idea, but still tried to sate the fact that they didn't want to give out Bellitrium.
Well, this is you have to keep in mind that we are 2-3 months into fleet boss battles as a feature, and we're probably I would be very surprised if that engine update does not come along with maybe a new boss battle. And guess what? That Bellitrium on brutal difficulties will suddenly come in a lot of handy when you are clearing brutal boss battles a lot more commonly, which we will be doing in the second boss battle. Not this one, because we kind of missed the boat on that.
No.
But this is future-proofing in my mind.
Quick.
Oh, yeah.
No, they're not, because they're not using the same resources. We won't be using Bellitrium,
Yes,
Chemocyte. Come on. Well, that's
what you
they say
forget
now.
is that they can just do find and replace Bellitrium with new ship resource.
Well, true. Okay.
Pull up and chat, folks. Let us know how your captain's bridge is going, and let us know in the comments if you're ready for a new boss, or how long would you want them to wait, because at any point when they switch over to the new boss, you're going to have some number of players left behind.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to try to minimize that if they can. You don't want half your players stuck, trying to fight 2 different bosses at once, but...
Because the main thing is Valor is shared. Everything else is different. You won't be earning Bellitrium Chemocyte from your new battles, but you will still be spending Valor to decide which way to put your battle, as it were.
I do feel for the smaller, more casual, let's say, fleets, because you're just kind of boned. Like, it takes a lot of players working in concert to down some of these higher difficulty bosses, and I still haven't seen anything mentioned at all on their end or even on their radar about what they might do to fix that. I don't think necessarily they think that is a broken aspect. I think they just want, if you have an issue with it, you have to look for a larger fleet, so we'll see.
I mean, it's going to come down to how altruistic you are, and I could also see, like, I'm, for instance, I'm at level 20 on Captain Bridge, so I can just, Valor is at this point, it's for merits, it's for honor, it's for, all this kind of stuff. It's for the occasional premium pull, which I get some very, very lovely blue ship schematics, right? But hey, that valor is literally being used for excess. It's it's free cash, right? If someone in my fleet was like, "Hey, I need to run brutal a few times. Do you mind helping me?" I'd be like, "Yeah, sure."
Not a
Like,
problem.
what? It literally is no. I'm going to say something really unfortunate now, and both of you are going to cringe. But it's no skin off my balls to do that for you. No, that didn't deserve that deserves a ooh. You need to get some more.
I do need to get some different ones. I've only got laughs and applauses at the moment, so I'll fill that
Okay,
out. But,
that should have been an applause.
If only there was an established idiom that started with "no skin off my" that we could use in an appropriate setting. If only such a thing existed.
I don't know what you're talking about. But here's the thing, right? It's like the point about adding this now to brutal. It seems like, well, that's a missing of the boat. It's missing the point that in game development, it is very rare that you will create a system and a framework that you only use once. Ow! Thank you, Benjamin Sisko. You use it multiple times, and sometimes for larger games that could be a bit to its detriment, where something that was a one-time thing suddenly becomes used multiple times because you don't create a game system and just abandon it. But like I say, it literally will be a case of find and replace ship resource 5 with ship resource 5A, and suddenly next time round we're doing ship boss battles, things are going to be a little bit smoother because we'll have more of that resource banked. That's what I mean. Because they will just it makes sense, right?
Yeah, got a shout out here from our fellow host Shireporn. If any maxed bridge captains want to help out a smaller fleet, come join Steeler Nation and help them defeat boss levels. That sounds like he needs some help. And if anyone's got an established captain, go help Shy. Steeler Nation are a good fleet of wonderful people.
For podcast listeners, how is your captain's bridge going? 79% say they are levels 16 to 20, so almost done. 14% between levels 6 and 10, less than halfway there, and 7% are between levels 11 and 15.
Yeah, I mean,
people are doing it. People are working it.
If you're very casual and because not everyone is as obsessed as we are. Like, we are a strange breed, but some people do just check in once every couple of days or something like that, and they're just popping on a couple of valor here and there, and they're kind of half paying attention to it because that's how busy your lives are. You've got more important things to do.
It is ultimately a mobile game, which is not designed to be played at extended periods of time unless you really want to get granular with it like we do.
But apparently we need something to fixate our lives upon, and this is it. Lucky us. This will go on our tombstones.
Look, this is just to keep us tiding over until Strange New World Season 2, okay?
That's a good point.
Need my fix!
I would very much love if they would come out. I doubt they will, because they haven't for Portal updates or Gauntlet or anything like that. I would love if they would come out and say, okay, we are rotating boss battles every 5 months or something, whatever, pick a number, every blank months. That way people know, if you have this far to go, you got to put your nose to the grindstone. Maybe you can get it done right before the changeover, because once you start splintering and having people switch fleets to try to get, I need to target the Season 3 boss, crap is going to hit the fan. It's not going to go half as smoothly as it is right now with everyone having one concerted goal right now. So if they would say, we're doing it every 6 months, every 7 months, we're going to switch, that would be lovely to hear.
Go on.
The other thought I have is, what if you put like a multiplier on old boss battles, so that instead of I have to do the exact same amount of work, it's like, hey, we're moving on to the Season 2 boss, which, I don't know, Crystalline Entity, that's the one everyone is saying. Every time you attempt to planet kill a boss, there is a ×2 on your damage, so that you are doing twice as much, and then you can do it with half as many people. I feel like that would be a nice little compromise, because it's old content, you are playing old content. Those crew are going to be not as good as when they first came out, because that's the way that crew work in this game. No one is ever supreme forever.
Unless you Braxton.
And then it just makes everyone's lives easier.
Speaking of Gary 7, let's talk about the new crew Talon. Huh?
Well, actually, before we do that, how does it feel? Yes!
I had a segue.
No, I'm really good. I was going to have a moan, but I will do that later. I'll do that when I've had a couple more beers in me. Let's talk about Talon. Hang on, let me get rid of that.
Is it not Talon? I thought it was Talon or something like that.
Talon. Oh, what's happened to my...
I mean, I don't know why I'm arguing the point. You guys have seen the show, I haven't.
Talon on Alexander.
It's Talon. No,
Talon.
wrong button. There we go, Talon.
Fucking schmuck.
Come on, we're all a bunch of professionals here.
That was one of the mysterious supervisors.
Anyway.
Respect the flavor text, or I swear to God, I'll quit the show and never come back.
Again?
Look, he has one job on this stupid show. It's stupid, but he's gonna do it. Okay?
All right, you talk about
Star
his dumb
says
super
fake
then.
crew. I get flavor text, and Idle just hogs the whole rest of the show. That's what happens.
Timelines Talks Originals.
Sorry, don't you mean...
Timelines Talks Originals. Timelines Talks not fake crew. Stars tell us who's first.
Dude, this is Shatner levels of singing along with your own voice.
Well, you know what? Also, I think we have to point out that he's very good at pushing buttons now, but he still couldn't get the intro right.
That's very true.
He got it the worst.
That's
He's
true.
got the wrongest he's ever gotten it wrong, actually.
On
A
the final
cockatoo
Timelines
with a
Talks of
strong
all
beak.
things. Go on, read your dumb flavor text. Come on.
I'm sorry, what? I spend more time on flavor text than I do anything else. As one of the mysterious supervisors, Talon watched over and protected Rene Picard through the 21st century.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Sorry.
Renee Picard. That's how memorable a character she
Is that
was
the
on
crispy
Picard
one
season.
or the non-crispy one?
So, obviously,
Non-crispy.
Picard season 2 spoilers here, but she was essentially Gary 7
Which is
from the
cool.
original series episode. Yeah, she's just similar, same job as Gary. You're supposed to go back and protect the timeline or whatever. So, kind of like Temporal Agent Daniels, but much cooler.
So Stars, are you wondering, is she a Laris variant?
She is not.
She is not.
Which
that
I was a bit confused by, but I
Yeah,
haven't seen the
it
show.
is
But I was like,
accurate.
okay.
And is also never explained. Just a
It's never. Wow. Okay, that's weird.
kind of the kind of like I mean, I'm sure you're immune from spoilers at this point, but like Picard just basically goes, "Oh, you must be a descendant," and then they never talk about it again. And then that's
Descendant?
it.
Weird.
They just wanted all of Brady in the season for more.
I mean, valid.
Which is fine.
Valid.
Yeah.
She's great. Yeah, no, it's like actually fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question for you guys, right? Because we were talking about who were the worst crew in the game. And Talon is fucking great, by the way. If you didn't finish her, you need to throw a sight or two on her if you've got a copy. She's great. She's legitimately, good base, good skill set, good. You'll have collections. What is it about Temporal Agent Daniels that makes him suck so much, right? Because he fucking sucks.
I
Not
mean, we're
just
talking
in
about
game.
show or
His
the
card is
yeah,
awful.
okay, we're talking about that.
Yeah, but in the show, right? Daniel shows up and he's objectively a time-traveling super agent dude from the future who is trying to save the Federation before it gets killed in its infancy. That should be the coolest guy ever. And yet he fucking sucks. Every time he turns his fucking face around the bulkhead, you're like, oh, this fucking guy. It's like, you again. But every time you see Gary 7 or Talon or any of these other temporal agents, they're cool. What's the difference? Because I kind of can't put my finger on it.
Because someone had to be the opposite of Archer, and that was never going to be a good thing.
The opposite of Archer? I don't
Kind of,
understand.
like personality-wise, like he was sort of a bit more shrewd and cunning, whereas exactly, and whereas Archer was more sort of, upfront and brusque and sort of more like they were kind of the polar opposites. But the problem was, Archer's opposite isn't something we really wanted.
Idle, could you I send you an image. Can you throw that up on the screen, please?
Let me
next to
find this
Talon?
image that I'm going to throw up on screen. Hang on.
Daniels is the embodiment of Weird Al Yankovic's white and nerdy, and that's why he's not cool.
So what you're saying is he could have been played by like Keith David? Oh fuck, that would have fixed the problem.
Okay, yeah, anything with Keith David in is always going to be good. Right, hang on.
Fuck, I
sent me
fixed
this.
Enterprise.
Why
Fuck.
have you sent me? Why have you
I
sent
need to
me
go
very
back
small
in
Sean
time
Bean?
and tell them to cut. Oh my god.
So this,
Why have you
This
sent me
is-
small? Sorry, for podcast listeners, he sent me a picture of like the game GoldenEye 007 with a very tiny image of Sean Bean holding like an MP4 with big head in the toilet.
So
I think that's called the Club in game.
yeah, there's a little cheat code you can put into the old N64's
DK mode,
GoldenEye
yes.
game. that gives them all big heads, and that's what you're kind of covering Talon right now, but that is what I see when I look at Talon, especially, if you look at the art. It's not that out of proportion, but it is a little large for the rest.
I think it's all right. I think it's just like you're looking up at her, so maybe.
I think you're seeing what you want to see.
I'm not the only one who pointed it out. Okay.
All right, but I think it might also be like the neck scarf, which is also throwing it off. Yeah, no, I think like it's a case of Daniel just doesn't have any personality, and it's not a very cool name. Hi, Daniels. How you doing, Daniels?
Talon is
Daniels.
but it's all Romulan and Bird of Prey and
well, also Gary 7, like that's a fucking name. Like no wonder fucking Gene Roddenberry thought he could sell a pilot based on that.
I'd have watched it, but the thing is, it might have been a bit too. I think the reason they rejected it was a bit too close to Mission Impossible. The premise wasn't it? It was very much the same kind of idea, but
You know what? In an alternate universe, there's a Super Mario Nation show featuring Gary 7. Like Thunderbirds. In an alternate universe that exists.
Well, that's Captain Scarlet, isn't it? That's pretty.
Well, yeah, but like a little bit Star Trek-y, That's the difference.
Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons.
Mysterons do sound like a TOS species, actually.
The event is done, but if anyone's hanging on to it less than fully fused, she has 6 traits, and none of them are Human Federation or Starfleet. So throw a side or 2 on her, freeze her. She'll be useful later, if not now.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can see every.
She's a good Voyager right now too. If you're a new player, but if you're just on the fence, yeah, those traits will come in handy.
Yeah, no, if this was a gold with these stats and these kind of metrics, I'd be like, hey, go, get it, go.
That would be the Patrick Bateman. Ooh, because I like that skill set.
How about going from one to the next? Let's talk about another positive female role model in a latest generation of Star Trek series. Adult Rukia from the Elysian Kingdom.
Well, hold on. Ben is crying in chat. What did we say that's so mean? Is it the GoldenEye big head mode?
What did we say?
That was not a shot. That was...
We were commenting on. Like, I think the art's great. To be fair, I think it's a really good
I love
likeness
the
and
art.
like got style.
Just a flashback. I do like the Talon art. I think it's fine.
You know what? I actually have to say,
almost all the complaints are done for the episode, so you can continue watching.
Like, I actually have to say, this is kind of a thing of the art for Rukia versus Talon is like, hey, I always prefer like now that people have started pointing it out, I cannot really deal with facing straight on at the camera.
I've always hated it. I don't like it. I never liked it for like
people
like Brian Yates.
I get why it's a thing, but it's like even if you're gonna do that, like look at how Talon's like turning slightly to the left, but it's got personality. She's got a pose. She's actually it doesn't look like a publicity photo, and that's ultimately the problem I have with it. This Rukia art is nice. And I love the skill set. I have 3 styles that I'm going to finish her. I love the card and I love the episode. But it's just because of the art, it's just a little bit less than dynamic, especially considering that when I think of that scene, I think of the light of the nebula on her. I think of like a really... I don't know, I just think... Don't do that.
Counterpoint, KDF Gowron is staring directly through your soul, and that's pretty cool art.
That's not
well,
bad,
yeah, that's fine
Gowron.
because that's Gowron. Yeah, exactly. That's an example.
Okay, I just did that, and I reminded myself of Hector Salamanca on Breaking Bad, where he's got the... ding, ding, ding. All right, anyway. Having merged her consciousness with the entity Deborah, Rukia is free from the sickness that kept her locked away. Now she is the one telling the stories. That's a little bit.
That's nice flavor text.
That's good flavor text. I mean, it's a good moment.
Okay.
But my problems with, I love the Elysian Kingdom.
Well, we did the recap on it, and we had a long conversation about
we really did
fatherhood and how to deal with the situation.
Yeah, if you want to read more into that, go watch our review on that. But my issues with the whole Rukia was like it was very much like we're going to take your daughter, and you're just fine with that. Like he's just very much like he wants her to be happy, but it was a bit too much like. And now she's adult, and now she's gone. And that was kind of like the worst part of that episode. Worst part of a great episode. I love the Elysian Kingdom and everything in it, but it did seem to kind of go, and the episode's done. This is how we're going to solve this.
Well, me and Big were kind of the similar opinion of, hey, it's a case of we understand that, but on the other hand, it was her only choice.
Yeah.
to keep on
Yeah,
living and
you know,
having a good existence.
I
Really.
apologize, Cairo, because you say you haven't seen the episode. We will be spoiling, but you know, she.
Yeah, apologies.
Sorry,
like
If the card
normally
is
we
in,
try and
if
be
the card
as
is in game
Yeah,
with
we're
the
gonna
flavor
talk about
text explaining where they're from and everything, then they are fair.
yeah, we try our best to be like spoiler free, but then like one of the first Strangely Worlds crew they dropped in game was like mega spoiler hammer, so you know, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they did.
They, in retrospect, they shouldn't have called the card Dead Hammer, but they went for it anyways. And now we have that in game. All right, hold on. You have a non-corporeal super being, and you name her Deborah.
I mean, it has like a thematic resonance with her mother. Like, it's fine. Come on, like, wouldn't you want to name like if you ran into a super omnipotent Nebula and he was like, "Hey, bud, you can come over here and you can have all the hot dogs and all the beer and all the Star Trek you want to watch," and you'd be like, "What are you gonna name him? Are you gonna name him Hey Nebula? Hey
How about
Nebby?"
Zordon?
There you
Zordon
go.
is cool and otherworldly. Deborah is like, you know, in Living Color.
Deborah. How you doing?
Well, now you're just exposing the fact that Zordon was a father-like figure to you when you were young.
Oh, well, wasn't he to everyone?
Yes, actually, there you go. It's almost as if.
Dude, the episode where the bad guys break Zordon's glass cage
Oh,
and
dude.
he like dies or is dying or whatever, I think I legitimately cried at like 6 years old.
You know the Green Ranger died recently.
Yeah, Jason David Frank,
Yeah,
R.I.P.
such a shame.
Yeah,
Literally.
in fact, to suicide, which is something personal to a lot of us, and we covered that on our last charity stream for Mind, the mental health charity. So if you grew up with the Green Ranger playing his kick-ass flute and summoning the Megazord, then you know
Like
that's a big loss.
I was at an age where I was too old for the Power Rangers, like ever so slightly, like probably about like 2 or 3 years too old for it. I still fucking loved it. I don't know what it was. It was just that moment where you saw all the sort of the pieces of the fucking toys coming together that you could buy in store now, but it was still too epic. It was still awesome. Like, I really enjoyed it.
Well, it's also a case if you got to watch violence.
And that.
Like, kids love violence. You got to watch the best kind of violence where it's, no one actually gets hurt. It's all just a lot of elaborate
They're putty
fighting
men.
in
Like, they're
in
not
quarries.
made of
Exactly,
anything.
yeah.
It's magic.
It's all that
It's
of elaborate
fine.
fighting in quarries. It's fine. Look,
right.
Look, the Green Ranger chopped that dude's head off. It's fine. He's not real.
We're doing Power Rangers Fake Crew next time.
Oh, dude.
A show.
All right.
Okay, but
actually,
here's the problem: is I'm gonna make all the Power Rangers Time Force crew super OP because that's the best show.
for an actual card you
That's
can
what
get in
I watched.
game, which you can actually get in the packs now. You've missed your chance on the event, sorry, but you can now get her in the packs. Is this something you should pull up? Is this a card you should pull a pack for?
This was a very low competition
Yeah.
event.
Yeah.
And it's sort of evident why. Totally just milquetoast statistically. If you're a big fan of traits driving value, especially after they just did this huge collection expansion, she's got Zippo there, 2 events from her traits. I mean, Federation, we're not going to count that, so she's kind of nothing now. Eventually, she might be someone you retrieve if you need all 3 of them, but I was saying she reminded me of Wyatt Miller, Elysian Travers, former sort of med-led crew who are fine. If you got her 5/5 on day 1, you'd probably use her for a while in voyages, out of necessity. But by the time you would fuse her up naturally for her other attributes, the voyage power won't be there anymore. So, if you love the character, love the episode, you can get some usage out of her for sure. But obviously not a power crew and not unique in any area, I would say.
Or you're like me and you're banking on the Elysian Kingdom having a collection because they've dropped like 7 of them in about 3 weeks.
Yes, but then you're stuck with what's her name, Reddy T, Kira, and Bashir, the two writers from Far Beyond the Stars, who were awful crew when they came up, but we're like,
I mean,
they
that's gonna
must be
take a
doing that
million.
vanity, right?
Yeah, I know. But here's the thing: they spread those out over like 4, 5, 6 months, right? Like, that was always the problem. I thought was like, if you're gonna do this, you should drop the collection now while they're out of portal and you can sell packs, not after they've joined the portal and there's like multiple chances to get them through bad beholds, right? Here they've done like 7 of them in rapid succession. There's been almost all. We're missing like 4 of them at this point. It feels like it's absolutely going to happen. I feel like it has to.
Well,
Maybe
if
that's
we're
just
gonna
me, but
let's carry on the theme and talk about Queen Neve, the first Celia Gooding variant of Uhura in the game. same as Ortega. So not Ortega's. Laan. We never got a proper version of Laan. We now have not a proper version of Uhura here, but it's Queen Neve from Elysian Kingdom, and this is absolutely an awesome piece of art, an awesome looking card, and nice, another nice little tribute to Uhura as well. What do you think about this one?
The villain of the kingdom of Elysian, Queen Neve, will bring King Ridley's kingdom to its knees until she gets the Mercury Stone.
I appreciate that you put the proper, like, villainous, pronunciation on things there. So this is a bad skill set, but...
This is essentially Captain Proton, but just not in color instead of in black and white. That's what they were going for.
Yeah, actually, that's the energy you want to bring to it. I don't know if she's related to Cuba Gooding Jr. I'm not sure, actually. I don't think so. I think it's Celia R. Gooding, so I'm not sure. Julia Rose? I don't know. If you haven't, families are weird in Hollywood. Anyway, this is a great card. I love this art. Not just because of the detailing on the dress. Like, I absolutely love the little, very cosplay-esque, like, shitty little... Not shitty, but like evidently fake icicles on the shoulders. Like, it's so flavorful and fun. Like, even in the episode you can tell that it's like, well, it's not really, they're not even attempting to make it look like real ice. It's all ornamentation and there's charm to that. But that's something it's really easy to make something look beautiful. It's hard to make something look charming. And everything about all the costuming in here is great. Actually, you know what, Namer? She is not actually looking straight at us, because this is a look on her face that I recognize, because it's right after Hemmer is about to do his magic trick, and he's acting like a fucking weirdo, and he's talking about the black hole, and he's gonna banish them to the event horizon, and she has this look of, "What the fuck are you saying to me?" And that's the look on her face, and guess what? That's a unique look on her face. That's a unique expression. Evokes the episode. This is like tier 1 art for me. I love this for super rare. And statistically, she's pretty okay. Like, she's probably one of the better, if not the best, 4-star heroes. There's not a lot of good ones out there.
We just had kind of 2 similar arts back to back, with a woman standing there in a dress. But the thing that I really like about this is her leg is sticking out from this one.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's just
I
a
never
little
even
bit
noticed
different. And they don't do that. They have lots of cards with dresses. This might be the only one with the leg sticking out like that. So that is
a bit of leg there, Otto, just poking out.
She's a good-looking lady. What can I say? It's good art though. Yeah, it's detailed, and that little bit sets it apart.
Yeah, great Voyager. Also, the skill set's not so great, but if you're still using 4 stars on Voyager, she'll work for you. Good traits like Interrogator, Villain, Royalty, Costume. That's great. Yeah, anything that can help you avoid Federation Starfleet glut is always good, in my opinion.
That's true, actually. Don't often see just humans without anything else. That's
yeah, because I'm guessing that they are considering them to be the actual persona and not the actual of the characters, so they're not considered Federation or Starfleet, which is interesting.
I like that. That's a good little twist. Let's go back to moaning. I miss it.
Okay.
Let's have a rant again. It's time for we've had the good part. Now it's back to the shit sandwich. There is a new objective event out, which you can get yourself a free Chef Pike, another Pike objective event, but who cares? It's Anson Mount. I will take infinite copies of him in my roster for however long is possible. I literally don't care. So 4 or 5 stars you can get for him. However, the wrinkle in the oatmeal of the breakfast of your lives is that the...
You have wrinkled oatmeal?
Okay, listen to this. It's a different county. You will need the Thunderchild. Part of the criteria is using the USS Thunderchild in ship battles to complete part of the objective. Now, if you didn't play or missed the event recently with the USS Thunderchild, well, you're shit out of luck, because they don't include any in the... Well, they didn't at the time record any in the... objective event rewards, so that would kind of put a few little people, not little people,
Short
few
people got no reason to live.
Absolutely, got a few people upset at that prospect. So
Idle.
Hello.
words.
Yeah, they
in the
are
right
they are
order.
the full. I'm actually reading my captions as we're doing this, and it's really off-putting me because it's coming up with all sorts of
Just turn
spelling
them off
mistakes.
and look away, you narcissistic
I
bastard.
can't look away. It's how it gets to me. So yes, if it got a few people a bit upset that they couldn't complete the objective because they missed the event or they couldn't rank high enough to get the Thunder Child, which is understandable. If you want Pike, you need the Thunder Child or athletes for some reason, which made no sense to me. WRG did come out and say, we blah 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 blah. Here's some Thunderchild stats, some specs, some stuff to make your own
Schematics.
Ones. So they're the ones. I'm really
He's
struggling
falling
today.
apart now. Have you been drinking?
Dude, we're
no.
just we're doing 3 more hours. This is Drunk Stream 2.0 as we quit the game. So, all right, the issue is if you missed a week or if you're just starting now, you could not complete the objective event, which, by the way, these month-long objective events, fantastic for new players. As an altaholic who rerolls all the time, I have finished these in like 15 days with a brand new account. It can be done. And a four stars of a gold crew is massive at that level. That is like he runs on every single voyage, every single shuttle. So, yeah, they're very nice for new players. So the issue is you couldn't complete it if you were new or you missed it. So their fix was to do a one-time thing, which doesn't help you if you're new or you missed it or you started after that. So they went the lazy way with that fix, which is a shame. They could have just put it in the rewards themselves, which they've done in previous endurance objective events, and that would have been much better. So they went the lazy fix. I'm not going to say
so I'm
I'm not going to say shame on them, but almost, because they could have done the fix the right way. All this did was push forward the problem, that people were having in the first place.
Well, so I'm curious. So say the obvious problem here is that they've copy-pasted a previous objective event, which is fine. That's what they do all the time. And they just take the effort to change the bits and pieces, the particulars, right? But they forgot to change it for this, and they went for the Thunderchild, but forgot to change what the schematics were. I believe it's the 4-star Enterprise, right? Now, if they had changed the 4-star Enterprise schematics to Thunderchild schematics, would that not have fucked it up for everyone who had already reached that level of the objective event? Like, how would they have been awarded those schematics? Would they have not? Have they actually done that before? Because that's the thing, is I don't know if they've ever done a mid-objective event fix where if you've already hit that threshold and then the reward changes ex post facto, then what happens?
So I don't see any schematics in the objective event.
No, there
rewards.
aren't. They have actually changed it. I don't think it's a copy and paste. They've specifically said that, or they specifically rewarded it to be different rewards.
Sure, I remember there being schematics in there, I think.
There used to be in previous iterations, but I think there's something else now.
What
Look,
is
how many
there, then?
good Andorian gold crew are there anyway? That's what I want to know.
Oh, they
Probably
gave you
not.
more equipment. That's lame. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough then. Yeah, I'm wrong.
Yeah. So,
But
yeah.
then again, that would have been an easy fix, but they didn't do it. So.
But they
Tempest
did give...
in a teapot. They're still giving away a free gold crew, essentially free gold crew,
And they
full
have gone back
copies
and
of them.
fixed the mistake, which was fine. They gave everyone enough Thunder Chance to be able to get through the event, because it just seemed like this was more an oversight between left hand and right hand. So we're doing an objective event. Why don't we put the Thunder Child in there? Is it available in the portal? Who gives a fuck? And no one seemed to be caring. And then someone going, wait a minute, we're missing something here. And the community yet again going, I can't complete this. Help me here.
I missed out on the one event that I miss every year. Help me.
This was date night.
I don't want to bang the drum too much, but if they would run stuff like this past a few eyes of active players, I'm not saying take players' suggestions on everything. Obviously,
that sounds like
we
QA
don't know
work.
the big picture. We don't know the big picture, but there's things that jump off the page from players that play every day that devs don't see because they're worried with, or they're concerned with all sorts of other behind the scenes stuff. So, like I said, it's not a big deal, but it wasn't the best executed fix. But if we can move on, if you are able to complete this, what is the crew that we're looking at for that? Or do you want to whine some more?
No, I mean, I'm just going to say, if they want to pay me a 10x premium pack just to see if where their fuck-ups are, I'm happy to do that. But yeah, let's talk about the said objective event awardee, if I can find him. Chef Pike, sadly holding a wine glass, not his dad tongs. I was kind of hoping he was going to have the clippies,
what's the
click.
Yeah, but which episode was he from? Because he was in the chef.
He's from the second episode. He's from Children of the Comet.
So this
is he's wearing specifically that outfit, and he toasts everyone when he's talking with her about her, because it's specifically this outfit. You're thinking of the bit in episode 9 where he's in his uniform and he's not wearing the apron because he's put it on Spock. Remember? Fake fan. Anyway,
it's okay. I've only watched him like 5 times.
I'm really glad we got this crew.
This isn't fair. Look how handsome he is. That's like
ridiculous. Makes you sick, doesn't it?
So you know what? When I was younger, I was starting to get into music, right?
Still are young.
And this is I was really, really young. I was young once. I was younger. And I was starting to get into David Bowie, right?
David Bowie.
And I remember asking my David Bowie.
Is that grass in space?
I remember
Bowie,
it's Bowie. It's Bowie for British.
Bowie. And I remember asking my dad, "Oh, can you recommend me any songs?" No, I can't recommend you any David Bowie songs. I hate David Bowie, and I was like, "What? Why?" But because he's a massive prog rock guy, loves King Crimson, he loves Yes. And I was like, "Why do you hate David Bowie?" It's like, "Oh, because he's just too handsome, and I can't stand a successful handsome man." And I'm like, "All right, okay." And I think of that quote every time I kind of look at Anson Mount being fucking a great dad and perfect and handsome and successful. I'm like, oh, you fucking asshole. How dare you be gracious about it?
I was just thinking, who would be Star Trek's David Bowie? And I think, no, actually, that's John Delancey's Q, isn't it? That is Star Trek's David Bowie.
Kind of. In terms of rock star quality, yeah. Or Adam.
But wait a minute. The Big Book has rated this as tier 6. Why is that? He seems like a perfectly cromulent card.
Completely cromulent. Dear. Well, unfortunately, the Big Book tier does not take into account art or handsomeness or the really good flavor text, which I'm surprised that you skipped over.
That's because everyone's talking. I don't want to break up the flow, just for something that. All right, we'll get to it now because I actually really hate it. Intelligent, charismatic, handsome, and now he cooks. Is there anything Pike can't do? That is totally. I like it kind of for Lower Decks because it is a fourth wall breaking show. It's a cartoon and it's completely irreverent. This is not that show. Like they obviously have their jokey episodes and stuff and winks and whatnot, but this was not out of the ordinary for the rest of the season. And they jumped the shark with this note, in my opinion. Like I get it, you're having fun. You realize you can have fun with New Trek again, and it's a great it's a good looking giveaway card, but it's like you're breaking your fourth wall in game now. If you boot up the game and you look at that there.
No, like if you tell me that versus Tuskegee Mayweather's winner of the second Battle of New York, whatever the fuck, I'm like, this is way less immersion breaking to me.
I don't love that there, but at least that's their own game that they're referring to,
I guess, but it's also a case of when I read that note, I get the impression that someone actually gives a fuck about the note they've written. Which...
What a deep cut, by the way. That the winner of the second Battle for New York. That was like early 2017 or something.
I was still playing. I was playing the game around about then. I remember. I think I might have voted in that thing for who was going to be the original's COP founder. Long on the short of it, this skill set is bad. I feel like
and should feel bad.
It should feel bad. He is Voyage rank number 44. There are probably 34 better Psi Command dip cards ahead of him in some permutations because the skill set is just that fucking common. Like Dupla, Reed, and Spock and Kirk, who completely outperforms them on all of his Voyage meta seats. Like, spoilers, there's going to be a tiny reference to the amount of Command dip crew we've had, and it's not going to be flattering because it's their attempt to sidestep the Command dip suck. Guess what? You don't get any points if you change the suck to Psi. You don't get points for that.
You never win when you put the suck first.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's sort of two halves to this. One half is there's that many Command Psi crew already in the game. The other half is there's going to be that many more in the future. So the numbers look fine now. They're going to drop faster than every other skill set except Command Psec. And
Okay.
but he's still a top 10 side, but he's still fine. If you're a new player and you want to side him, I get it, because the surface level metrics aren't bad. But on the other hand, you're going to get, in the next year, you're going to get probably 3 more giveaway Command Psi in some form or the other, either Mega or giveaway or what. So,
Well, the other factor is we're probably going to get another 3 giveaway pikes that are this good as well, because it's the second of this year. Like, we get you love him, guys. We all do, but like, you can spread the love around a little bit. How about a Tucker with these stats, huh? How about that?
Okay.
I also don't know if I would have picked Psy for this variant. I don't
Cooking
know
is a
why they
science.
picked.
Cooking is science. Definitely.
I feel like it would have been Med, considering he's literally doing counselling and talking with her about her
Well,
future.
Yeah, true.
potatoes give med. In
Yeah,
game.
actually, we had this
potato
well
item.
documented. Sous Chef Cisco does get Med from his potato items. So
Speaking of, Neymar came up with a good little contest. Cisco Pike cook-off. Who would win that MasterChef challenge? That would be a good one. I might have to put my money on Cisco. He's got the pedigree. He's got, he's got.
Yeah,
the,
Cisco
his
has been
dad's a chef.
cooking, and Cisco is Creole, I think, for years, and like.
I think Pike is more the kind of enthusiast as like, I just bought a smoker, so I'm going to smoke all this meat, and he's taken up as his lockdown hobby. That's more what kind of Pike kind of speaks to me as. He does it well, does it really well, but is more like, I think for the actual authentic food, I think Cisco's got it. There we go. There's our next
Cisco
pros and cons.
Yeah, Cisco would have more flavor, but I think Pike would I don't know. I think Pike would be a
Pike would
better
spoon you
host in a way.
afterwards.
Well, yes, he would. Cisco can be a little bit standoffish, unless he's in a social context where he can be a bit more open. But
To be fair, if you didn't like
Pike is
Cisco's
so
cooking,
gregarious.
he would tell you why you do, and in great detail.
He would sick the profits on you, I think. That would be hard to
yeah,
contend
that's
with.
true.
It's flavorless. It's
but
real.
you know what? I appreciate these non-standard traits. Chef, counselor, someone's actually thought about these. Casual, and the one inspiring. Guess what? I feel like that should be a character-wide trait. All pikes should be inspiring. I feel like that's a thing that should be a thing.
Dead man walking trait. Something like that.
Wow.
What?
Soon to be wheelchair bound trait. Is that what you're getting at?
Also, how can it be dead man walking if he's going to be confined to a wheelchair?
Never actually died
Well,
on
that's
screen.
true.
Take that. Let's pause for thought. We've never seen Pike
That's
die.
true. He's still alive. He never dies.
He's going to be there in the 32nd century. You just wait. How about
That'd be
I
a
do
weird
f-
crossover.
I do find it funny because Reunion, we've been talking about his replaceability. Reunion Spock and Kirk has been on everyone's radar since he came out. Super powerful card. Exact same skill set, and all 4 of his antimatter traits are covered by Reunion Spock and Kirk. So in terms of replaceability,
He's already been
that's
replaced.
a big reason why he doesn't score so high.
And if you haven't got reunions,
But guess what?
just
I like
wait
him.
for the next elusive treasures, and he'll be in that.
Does the art scream 3-star to anyone else? Maybe I'm just thinking.
I
of
know what you mean.
Nepenthe Riker.
You're thinking of
Riker is
Chef
what I'm thinking
Riker.
of. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why.
yeah.
But doesn't that evoke feelings, affection of rare crew?
Speaking of evoking feelings, we had a very strange drop that came about. A new Timelines Originals, not Time for Stocks original, the actual Timelines Original came out in the form of a rugged Dread Pirate Q, to which when I heard the name I thought, oh, we're getting that Q from the start of Encounter at Farpoint, but oh no, this is something else. This is
Silver Fox Daddy Q.
Hold on, are we starting with the good or the bad on this one?
let's do the
Let's
good.
start with the good.
Yeah.
Let's
do
Okay.
it. This
'Cause there's
art
a lot-
is
there's a lot of good.
awesome. Like how
Yeah,
good
this
is
might
that?
be some of the best art I've seen
This
in
is
ages.
so good. Like for an originals,
This
is real good. This just
that's
takes
art you can
Plutonian
use to sell
Chekhov.
the game.
Yeah.
Frankly,
This should be the giveaway crew that you promote on all your advertising in other games. Look at this Q. Are you a Star Trek fan? No one's got this.
yeah. No, it's just like
John
everything
Delancey
from the top to
drew
the
this
bottom.
on the back of a napkin and handed it to Ben and said, "You're going to make this happen. Otherwise, I'm never voicing for the game again."
Which, Ben,
Like,
if you're still here, I would
details.
love to know if Delancey had any input on this. Because I did see on the forums, I think Shan said they had fun making it. I can see why. And I wouldn't be surprised because Delancey's done stuff, I think, last year? With their anniversary, he recorded a little message and passed along. Maybe it was 2 years ago now, but yeah, he's still involved. He helped write episode 10, so he's still involved with the game beyond just principal voice acting and before it came out. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he was involved in this little. It was a fun card. I like this. It's putting a smile on my face.
Yeah, no, it literally is one of those crews that you look at and you smile. That's a good mark of a crew. Pretty decent. It's an okay skill set. It is again the command dip suck thing, which is a slightly different variation, but it's hard to give Qs different skills really. Kasai and engine med are not really his things.
I
You
would
don't
have said
see
a pirate
him.
would have been engineering at some degree, someone dealing with his ship and repairing his ship.
Age of
No.
Sail Riker as engineering.
Yeah, that's because other Rikers have engineering. I don't know.
Yeah, I think engineering makes. See, we've always talked about science with Q variants, but Amanda Rogers, who didn't even know she was a Q, has the same powers. So isn't that like biological? It has nothing to do with technology or anything that the Q might be leveraging.
So you're fighting against the Eng as a skill.
No. I'm just
What about Eng Psi
irrespective
Med?
of skill sets. Like
Eng Psi Sec, actually. Sec Eng Psi would be great. That would make him awesome, especially at this Voyage rank 13.
Oh yes, this is a
If
pretty.
he had
pretty
Sec Eng Psi
quality
would
Voyage
be
rank.
epic. Like, that would be really good. But he wasn't a Tuesday
Q
pack,
would
so, and this was last Tuesday's pack, so you missed him. Sucks to be you. And me. I didn't pull for him either. So, go on, Auto.
Q would be a tough pirate, wouldn't he? He's had an eternity to build up an immunity to poisonous iocane powders.
There we go. That's the spirit.
So if you had any doubt, this is in fact Dread Pirate Roberts' Princess Bride non-canon Q, which I adore the movie, so that's just...
Dill holes of
another
unusual
layer.
size. I don't believe they exist.
What was that?
Come on.
That was top-level third beer acting, shy porn. That's what that was.
Inconceivable.
Very interesting for fleet boss battles. 400 damage plus 10 attack, which just those two attributes surpass everybody's favorite Mego Mayweather. No limit, meaning
there's
if
no
you're doing
limit.
these 3-minute
Didn't know
whole
that.
battles, he can trigger over and over in really fast cycles,
Holy
16
shit.
seconds. Of course, the big issue is the trigger, boarding trigger, which in terms of competitive ships are only like 2 or 3. The artifact is one of them, so if anyone in game has
Thematically
has played around
appropriate
with
as
them-
well. A pirate should have boarding triggers.
Absolutely. So if anyone in chat has played around with him so far, let us know how he does. There's huge potential there. The issue, of course, is getting that niggly little trigger to work correctly.
And again, some good non-standard traits. I love an appearance of a good smuggler. Scoundrel is like the standard. Costumed, obviously. Like it's just there's a
Thief.
lot of fun.
I would
Thief would
definitely
have
put
made a
Thief on there.
Yeah, thief or criminal actually would have been appropriate.
Yeah, why isn't he not a thief?
By the laws of the land. I didn't even think about that. But so, do we want to talk about the bad?
Yeah. I mean, I don't, but let's do it anyway.
What? Okay, so they 3 weeks ago, they did their first ever credit pack for a pack that's normally cost dilithium, or I think they've done it for honor before during like the first honor sale.
That was
This
great.
is the first credit pack.
That was a good move. Like, if they were going to do that as an
Let's
experiment,
just say
yeah, that was great.
this on its own is fantastic. Irrespective of what cards are in there, it's a better honor conversion rate from credits to honor than the normal 90,000 credit packs, and you get better chances for beholds and begolds. Fantastic offer. I want to see it again, like in any kind of form. Whatever crew you put in there, I would pull on, which I shouldn't say that because I'm the pull backer in there. The problem is, all right, either they ran that pack first and then said, okay, we'll do Q afterwards, and they knew which cards they'd just run and they put them in this 6-pack anyways, or they had the idea at the same time and said, okay, yeah, we're going to put both in there to bleed them dry and then to give them less value in the 6-pack for a great crew that they're probably going to want to pull anyway. No matter what happened, whether it was planned at the same time or not, they knew what was going on, and they still put 2 of the 3 same crew in there that a lot of players would have just pulled in the credit pack, which, it's not the first time they've done something like that. My personal issue is, when they do something unexpectedly generous, like credit packs or credit Dabo or anything like that, I want to wholeheartedly indulge and feel good that they're doing something generous, something fun, something great value, and not have to worry about, okay, what's coming next? How are they going to screw
What's
us
the
next?
angle?
What's their angle? What's their dirty little secret? And sure enough, they did it by putting 2 of the 3 crew that you probably just immortalized in the credit pack into this pirate Q pack.
Now look, Auto, I respect that point, but there's just such a shortage of Q variants they couldn't have possibly put any other ones in.
Didn't they just up the
Okay, I
threshold
can see
to
the
25?
point.
Here's my
I have a
counterpoint.
minor.
Here's my counterpoint to that argument. Sorry. Only because if you're a VIP player,
Cracks.
if you're a VIP player, you pulled on those credit packs and you're not looking at 6-packs. I didn't look at that 6-packs for anything. So the fact that Sheriff of Nottingham Q, who is in there, who's not a good card to begin with, he's only sort of eligible for a few collections, not great. It didn't bother me that he's in there. I get your point that you may have gone ham on a collection, then go, I want to go ham on this 6-pack, but we always say don't do 6-packs, but then they put a nice Q in there. I feel like a little bit of patience says that maybe it's all right. It's just a card. I know I'm sort of getting across what I'm trying to say here. Like, it's the one I appreciate what you're trying to say. Like they're putting something crap in there for that people have already achieved, but at the end of the day, it's a 6-pack. We shouldn't be that worried about it.
I mean, I would have pulled this pack because I love the card. Knowing what I do about 6-pack odds and getting the shaft there many times, I would have pulled it because I love the card and I love that they put in the... I mean, Ben came on the show, probably a year and a half ago at this point. Someone had asked about Originals Crew. How come we don't get them anymore? And he said, oh, well, we kind of got bad feedback on this and we don't think players like it. And we kind of all said, yeah, we do more. And they turned around and did more, which I really appreciate. So that's just one more layer on top of this crew, which is why I really like the crew. If they wouldn't have done the credit pack, or if they would have put different Q in there, I would have pulled on this one out of principle. I did.
I think it's
I'm on my high horse principle in this mobile game. I would have pulled on, but I'm just from my data point, they lost a sale because they decided to try to work their angle, as Star said.
They do it as well with the double golds in event packs when they add to, Princess Thalian Runa. People wanted her, but they added another gold in there to dilute the packs with Mycelial Culver and Riker Adan is always the one I use as the template for that. Everyone wanted... the fuck was that noise? People wanted... everyone wanted Mycelial Culver, but you had to pull for Riker Odan to get him. So they're not ashamed of diluting packs with things you might already have. The basic premise of a 6-pack is like, look at all these cards. For the whales, you only want that one, don't you? But you might get all this other crap, or you might have all this other stuff you've frozen before. And I think the dire aspect of the game is there's no way to circumvent that. There's no reroll mechanic for things you might already have. There's no way of avoiding the AF begold.
I was thinking about
gold.
this.
That's a weird way to say it.
It's a big gold as fuck. I was thinking about this earlier. One of the few easy social media streaming type things you can do with this game is opening packs. It is unfortunately a huge thing. Gambling streams on Twitch get huge viewership, and actually it is fun seeing people open packs, see what they get.
When we used to do pack pulls, and then they killed the Steam packs?
Try to choose beholds. That's something else. Try to choose beholds. They're never gonna fix frozen beholds. Like if they do, that would blow me over. That being said, it's one of the few really watchable aspects to your game, and I wish they would lean into that instead of being like, no, if you've played a certain age for a certain length of time, you're just gonna keep getting frozen beholds and kick them out there like that's feels bad, and it's not fun to watch. So they could kill 2 birds with 1 stone there, but I don't think they ever will.
And I think this comes with something I was going to say earlier about promoting the game, and with the aspects of us being told not to put things on Twitter and things like that, there seems to be an active effort to dampen any enthusiasm to promote the game, or any kind of enthusiasm to
don't get excited.
Don't get excited about this. Don't
it.
watch anything about this. Don't get enthusiastic about any reason to watch things about this game to promote aspects of the game. You look at Fleet Command. Fleet Command has adverts bloody everywhere. You look at other games that Obviously I know they don't have the marketing budget to spend on massive streamers to do pull packs or anything like that, but they could do things like the Steam, I said before, the Steam packs, which were dirt cheap deals that we picked up to get 200 premium packs for dirt cheap. But they've now, it's now been killed off. But also, we haven't done a pack pulling stream since, which doesn't promote the game, and it's like little cyclic things like that don't really help. There's no seem to be active encouragement for promotion, for getting communication out there. They say come to the web store, click on the banner, but they don't put that out anywhere other than an in-game message, which gets to about a few people and a couple of discords. It's not helping. They're not helping themselves.
Which,
in that regard,
I said it earlier in my mini rant. I'll say it again. Kudos to Ben then for going out of his way to visit multiple discords. Not just, he doesn't just stop there, drop in news, and then move on. He's answers questions individually.
He even says, "I'm going to go."
Please don't tag or DM him. He's asked that you not do that, but he still goes out of his way to do stuff when he clearly doesn't have to. Like, that's not his primary hat, is to deal with the community, but he's chosen to do so anyway.
I've seen him before. He says, "I've got to go. I only had a few minutes here," and then he'll keep answering questions for another half an hour. So, kudos on him for putting that kind of engagement in, which they need. Definitely. Genos asks, will you do an honor sale stream during the next sale? The sale is now. Probably. I've got some pulls I want to make, and I imagine you guys do as well. So when we have a sale,
I think
I'll do a stream.
That's the sort of timelines content that we would have more fun with. Not how did WRG screw us today?
So, before we move on, I have one minor little with what's that noise? Dread Pirate Q, which is that is not the Dread Pirate Roberts' outfit.
Yeah, I was expecting the black mask with the little eyes.
Yeah, or even just how he appears for the rest of the once he gets thrown off the cliff by a Buttercup, and he's like, "As you," and it's like his little cap falls off. It's like the black shirt, the classic Dread Pirate. I was expecting that, and it's like, oh, this is just pirate, but he's cute. It's like, okay, so like the Dread Pirate Roberts thing, but then the actual Dread Pirate Roberts.
What if this?
But then they have the iocane powder reference. I'm like, okay.
What if this is not Princess Bride? What if this is in fact Pirates of the Caribbean crew?
Except that it's got a reference to the iocane powder.
It does. I've not watched many of the Pirates of the Caribbean films. Maybe they have that in it?
No, they don't.
Okay.
I think this was pretty safe and easy for them to get away with the reference wink wink without drawing any ire. They're still a company.
That's fine.
They still have to deal with that kind of thing. So, we all know where it's from, and we're happy to have it.
It's very minor. It's kind of pink.
Namer dropped a little information in chat. If you scroll up a link to an image, essentially Taco Mayweather is still a little stronger, at least with the data that this person collected. They're fairly comparable. So,
well, it's also a case of with Q, you get a way better crew overall.
Yeah, a way better crew, much more worth immortalizing, and you don't have to worry about paying, $1 million ISM for whatever pull stars are required right now from Mayweather. So
here's some charts and stats on screen.
A great card, like from top to bottom, really cool card. They're leaning. You can definitely tell they're leaning into the fleet boss battles meta with. They're paying attention to what kind of ship abilities crew come out with. So that's cool to see.
Definitely. I'm just going to crop this image and put it somewhere fun. Because who doesn't love her?
Over my head. Who cares what I have to say anyway?
Okay. Anyway. What's next? Where are we? Okay, how about from one amazing captain to a king?
You rat bastard, move the chart.
You
literally invited it.
Literally did. From a captain
anything for a laugh.
For a captain to a king. King Ridley is the award the crew you can win this week, in fact, in a faction event. Med Dip Psych, voyage rank 39. Dr. Mabenga, this is some hot shit. For those that are, like SARS, are awaiting an Elysian Kingdom collection, you might want to get on the ground floor with this one, because caregiver, physician, costumed, I would imagine royalty could get a collection with all these kings and queens that have been released.
There's a lot of JoJo's, there's a lot of other crew that can easily pick that up.
I'm excited for this card. In a way, like, I don't get excited by events often. I kind of pick and choose them. I don't play them every week, and this is one makes me kind of go, it's time to spend all my boosts.
So I feel like I want to take this from the top. The art on this is gorgeous. I actually prefer it over the rookie art because, again, it is not directly staring at the camera. I can place exactly where this comes from in the episode. This is when he's scanning Chapel for her dopamine levels, her dopamine, which is hilarious. And the lighting is perfect on him. They captured all the fine details of the costume, which is important, especially because one of the costuming details I absolutely adored about this episode was that they fused European-style royalty with some Nigerian aspects because of Babs. Oh, I'm going to forget how to say his last name, but he's an absolutely wonderful, talented actor. Olasamunukun's his heritage, and he has some of that Nigerian king aspect to his costume design, which is incredible. It really sucks for Rukia that they are the exact same skill order, but he's better. Ooh,
I mean,
boy.
In one sense, thematically, that makes sense. But on the other hand, you're kind of like, you're kind of like kneecapping your own gameplay with that.
You're kneecapping your own gameplay, and it's like, would it not have been more thematically appropriate for King Ridley to have a bit of med command? Does that because he also has that great moment where he's like dictating to Queen Neve, "You will not touch my daughter," and she's like actually shaken by that, and he's the one bossing the ship around essentially for most of the episode.
So here's the catch-22, because he's med dip psi. You either have to get rid of the dip or the psi for that command. If you get rid of the dip for command, kind of dip seems more sensible, but if you get rid of the psi, he's another command dip he's another command dip, which wears a bit thin even with the med primary. So I don't know. I'm happy with the skill set mid dip psi for this. I think that's okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Is what I'll say. What I will also say is that I not put this down in his note, but it bears repeating here. He has absolutely no outperformance on any of his seats. On any of his antimatter traits, he is the best for them. The only crew of his skill sort of area, not even of the skill set that comes close, is Dexa. Dexa is, and guess what? That's fucking hallowed. That's some good territory. I'm really glad they did right by him. I was expecting him to be a collection reward with how much I was looking forward to him, but no, he's just for a faction. Obviously he's going to be a faction because they always put the really good crew in factions most of the time. I'm just hoping it's not going to be as much of a bloodbath as Human Saru. I really want a few copies of him. I really want him. He's good. I like him.
I'm going for at least 2. I hope for 3. I'm not hopeful, but we'll see.
Benga finds himself cast as King Ridley, a hero in search of a precious artifact in his daughter's favorite storybook. Hero in search of a precious... hero in search of a precious artifact.
Also, do you have a Twitter account?
Yeah, that might... The only way we can get this card hero trait ad is if... Go to Twitter, tweet at Star Trek Timelines. Tell them they missed a trick here.
Don't all do it at once. It might get a bit old. In fact, I'll do it at once, and it might get a bit old.
Yeah. Don't scare the developer.
No,
we
do that.
Don't tap on the glass while they're coding. All right.
Oh man! Also, are you going to go for a copy?
Do you even play the game?
Why would he? It's a bad game. Stop playing.
Yeah, I mean, the last couple weeks, I'm kind of I'm not going to buy the leap year dilithium. I've spent a lot on this game. I'm kind of on strings at this point, but we'll see.
I think you need to start a fun nightmare alt. That would really get your mojo back in the
game. I should not start any more alts.
Okay.
Period.
Yeah, he's burnt enough Homer Simpson bridges as it is.
We'll get you on the Birth of Federation stream. How about that?
We did test that a couple days ago.
It worked really well.
The streaming quality is good on Birth of the Federation, so
yeah, we can do that. Your fans are going nuts. Okay, how about, are you sick of Strange New Worlds crew? I'm not. So let's talk about another one. There she is. Sorry, that was really stinted. Off-duty Ortega is the Tuesday Pack crew. Currently, I think she's still in the portal. I don't know if that is expired. No, it shouldn't have done. She was only yesterday. Voyage rank 175. And she has some traits. She is set dip eng, and she has some awful art.
Did you ask if yesterday's released crew is in the portal?
I did. What is time these days? I don't know. I'm lost in a spread of spreadsheets and video editors. That's all I know these days.
As a light practical joke, Ortega convinces Uhura to wear her dress uniform to the captain's table.
This was a cool moment because this was one of the first times we see Ortega actually speaking to someone like in a social settings, and it was her just winding up Uhura. So this was nice to kind of gauge how her character was, like what kind of personality you're kind of going to get from her. It was sort of a little bit cocky, a little bit smarmy.
I was so cocky.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't give her the Maverick trait because it's kind of a bit Mavericky to include someone in the hazing. It's just kind of like her ways, her personality is to have a bit of fun, play a bit outside the rules. Although everyone seems to be in on the joke. This is a good moment for her. I hate this art. I hate it. 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 It has like that problem that I feel like Auto had with some of the lower decks crew, where it looks flat to me. It doesn't look like it has any real dimension.
Yeah, a little bit
like
2D.
That looks like a sticker to me. Like it doesn't have volume. It
I
doesn't
think it's
look.
because the outline goes all the way round. Actually, there's no sort of lighting dimension to the outline. It's just literally.
Yeah, there's no light source. I can't tell where light is coming from. And I guess that's because it's in the Enterprise like hallway, which is pretty brightly lit on Strangely Worlds, because guess what? You should be able to look where you're fucking going. Shouldn't be like the Generations where you're on the bridge and it's like, oh fuck, I've fallen over in the work and I can't get up. But I just hate it.
Thinking about that,
Dude,
thinking about Generations.
I'm just reading.
Go on.
Sorry, I'm reading the captions on our stream instead of listening to what you guys are saying. It's just like.
No, so the Generations lighting is like it's all side lit. Can you imagine being on the bridge and like where the fuck is the torpedo launcher? I can't. Hang on, is this button? Like,
look, everything's on dark mode. Okay, just get with it. We're on low power. Yeah, and I hate this art.
Yeah, if it buzzes 3 times, you've launched a torpedo and you've violated the neutral zone. Shit.
I hate when that happens.
Every time.
Yeah, I don't like this art.
No, it's
I
terrible.
will say I think it's a good likeness of her, the smirk and everything. But yeah, it's a little bit Croden-esque. Operation Neptune-esque. Where it's almost like low poly kind of.
Yeah,
like the likeness is fine and everything, but yeah, it's a little bit
It's lacking in dimension, it's lacking in volume, it's just lacking in
seasoning.
Everything I like about art, frankly. Sorry.
Chad is doing our job for us. They say, unfortunately, the artist side is crew's dead on arrival for voyages and collections. Kind of true. It's been a long time since they released like all of 2021 they did this, I think, where they had like bad voyagers every single week. Voyage 177, not great, pardon me, and base 113. So,
this is...
there's a little gauntlet juice in there with the big... sec dip roll, and I could see new players being really happy to get that, but no 45% or 65% gauntlets,
no
so it's going to be hard
collections
to hang with the gold
at
crew.
all.
Yep.
How long has it been since that any crew not had a collection? With the amount of collections they have in the game, we don't have pilot, casual, or crafty. Like the last bastions of Ortega's worth.
I also feel like it's like, hey, do you want to pull for a dip set gauntlet set? Like, really? That's the one you want to go for? I'm not like, she's a pilot. Couldn't you have given her a bit of command edge to like make her a bit more relevant? Like, it's not like she's going to be hitting any big hitters in dip edge. It's not like 2018 when, before the Red Angel, where anyone could step into dip edge and have a fighting chance. This is just
here's the thing, though. Like,
great choice. She's going to get drubbed by any fucking Gowron or Locutus that comes along.
With how fast power creep is now, which is fine, and no complaints. Like if she'd have been released 2 years ago, she'd have been like void number 3, or probably, I don't know. I might have to go back and look at that. But she would have been great a long time ago. And like you say, any new player.
What was it that Scotty said about the Excelsior? And if my grandmother had wheels, she'd be a wagon. She's bad now. She's bad. I feel bad.
We're still
it
on
sucks
a new
for
series.
Ortega. It's her first gold variant. It has to be like this.
Well, yeah, it's her first, isn't it? Well, there'll be more. There'll be better ones.
Yeah, I guess.
What about someone who is getting her first appearance and her first gold variants? How about President Tarina? from Discovery's season 3 and 4. Now in the game as the next next crew you can win for the first, well, for the rerun, but it's actually the first. She will be the first mega crew. So what is starting out as Vulcan, Discovery, it won't be Diplomat, maybe Culture Impact, maybe Communicator. Who knows what's coming up? But yeah, we finally have Tarina in the game, and I love Tarina. Like, again, Discovery season 4 and 3 spoiler a little bit as well. Her interactions with Saru is just adorable.
Very cute.
It's so adorable. Like, their relationship is brilliant.
It's very wholesome. It's like, that's what I want to see.
And it's so awkward. Like, her and Saru have this, like, real teenage moment where they're just like, should we talk to each other?
You know, it's like, literally like they should be like with their heads behind their backs, and then Saru should bring out a little flower. Like,
yeah, and it's like, you're talking about the president of Vulcan and a seasoned Starfleet captain. Like, they're just like, it's so good.
There's just a lot of charm to the interactions, and it's nice to see, hey, guess what? Like, she recognizes the supremacy of the Doug Jones creature feature charm. She looks at that woman from Sally Hawkins from Shape of Water, and she's like, you know what, I get it. Now, also, I remember when you were talking about Socrates and how you liked his art. I'm just kind of struck by the lighting on this one, and you said that he looked like a chess piece. She looks like she should be a chess piece on the opposite side of the board. Like, there's something about the cloak, the lighting, the coloring, the archway that she's standing. That is a queen on a chessboard, and I kind of adore that aesthetic. I kind of really like it.
For Puffcast listeners, are you awake? 83% say barely. You are my ASMR. 17% say yeah, but the show sucks. Thank you.
At least they're honest.
Love you guys.
Yeah, they always give it to us straight.
What's the name of the pleasurable guy? Oh, Gath Laban.
Oh, Guthural Lebin.
Oh,
I get Gath Laban vibes from this. The lighting. Go do it side by side, and you see the sort of half sinister lighting on the face. Before you shake your head, go look. This stands out to me as the color's not really off. The shading is very heavy, and if you look at someone like Ortega, who we just looked at, who has barely any shading, this is kind of the opposite extreme. Very heavy shading. So I'm not saying it's bad art necessarily. I am.
Well,
because the problem, he has the orangeness going on, which compounds
I'm not talking about the color. I'm talking about just the shading is heavier. Look at her and Ortega side by side, and the shading is.
I kind of get what you mean about Labin, but I feel like she's done in a much more dynamic and, frankly, portrayed in a more human proportion way than Labin is. Labin kind of looks a little bit Mr. Hyde to Jekyll.
I'm only talking about the shading, not whatever else might be wrong.
Which I'll agree, the shading is very similar.
You know, I can kind of see, because who was it that I was thinking of? There was another character. It was Melora Paslar, the 4-star version. She had very strong shadowing on the side of the face. And
Wait, have they got a new artist? Have we got a more
maybe they just love
artist?
shadows.
Look, my conspiracy theory is that they brought back that second artist. They told him, all right, practice your craft a little more. We'd like to bring you back. They brought him back, and he's done some stuff recently. Croden, Ortega's, maybe Gath and Tarina, and it's better than it was. But it does look like, because the other guy, you know, whoever he is, we've stalked him on Instagram before. He is so practiced in his craft. He pumps out card after card after card with very consistent qualities. So when you see something like this, it's not bad art by any means. I like this art on Tarina, but it is a little bit different than the established style, I think.
You can see that, yeah. Now you said it like that, I completely understand. But also, I feel like that kind of works in their favor, because when you first meet Tarina in the show, she is a bit more of a neutral figure where you aren't quite sure of how to read her in terms of how... Because she initially is very reluctant to give up the SB-19 data. She's a little bit hostile. She's like, I want to open diplomatic relations, but I don't know how to trust you guys because of the whole way the Federation thing went down. So like this, I feel like it does capture some of that ambivalence. It's not quite the full romantic Tarina of season 4, which like maybe we'll get a different variant for that. I'd like that. if we can get 17 different Garricks, I'd like at least another Tarina. That'd be fine by me.
I think we will.
As the president of Nivar, Tarina must find a way to preserve the reunification of Vulcans and Romulans as she considers rejoining the Federation.
Yeah, so this is season 3, Tarina. That makes perfect sense then, yeah.
And every scene she's in is just it's another. I find it's another stalwart sort of figure of volcanism, where you have Spock and Tuvok as kind of like your leading representations of what a Vulcan should be, and T'Pol, and T'Pol as well. I feel in the 32nd century we now have Tarina to sort of define where the Vulcans have evolved to this point, because she sort of embraces a lot, and we get enough screen time with her, and she is not just sort of like she is a guest character, but she is damn near a regular in season 4 as well. With how much she interacts with Saru, that we kind of get that impression she's there to sort of represent her people, but we do get to see her personal side, especially with the interactions with Saru, and it's nice to have that development with a guest character on the sort of almost on a level of Garrick as well. We see enough of her and go, oh, it's Tarina episode, great, she's here, this is gonna be good. I enjoyed this.
Instantly, Genos, I believe her other traits are what? Politician and Vulcan Federation. I don't know. I'm not sure about Federation, actually, considering the storyline, but Politician, I believe, is one of the other ones.
That's a point.
So, yeah, no, I'm wondering, actually, because, like, that skill set is okay. It's alright.
Command dip. Good thing we haven't had a billion of those this year.
The end is helpful. It's fine.
I sort of enter the matrix when I start looking at these crew on the big book and breaking them down. I'm seeing Ardra in ship battles, 6-second activation, accuracy boost, crit bonus. I look at the collection. I sort of see President Rilak, Discovery with 4 collections, Politician. So, yeah, I mean, she's definitely a good card.
Yeah, why does she
top
have
to
engineering?
bottom, kind of.
That's a good point, Craig.
She has engineering because she has access to the SB19 data, which is an engineering product to create a new way of warp travel. That's why.
It's because she engineered the perfect red panned judo throw, just like Judoka Kirk. And as we all know, that's where engineering comes from. It's deep down in the loins.
Guess what? It's more appropriate than Sec.
True.
Looks at graduation day, Amanda Grayson.
Look, but the way she aggressively handed that book to her daughter, she almost struck her down to the ground. So I think security is warranted for Grayson.
Who was you asking was a 6-pack idol?
Do you think she has a 6-pack like Judoka?
Oh. I think all Vulcans should have a 6-pack. I feel like they should all be shredded with a low gravity, right? So, I don't know if you feel this. Like, also, your opinion on this may vary depending on things, because I know you have very strong opinions about New Trek. I feel like New Trek has been very good to the Vulcans. I feel like back in the day in TNG, especially, you would or like DS9 Voyager, you would get an Enterprise as well a little bit. It wasn't as bad as an Enterprise. When you asked a guest actor to come on and act as a Vulcan, unless your name was Leonard Nimoy, or Mark Leonard, or Tim Russ, or Jolene Blalock, your approach was, I'm going to be a smug asshole with a monotone. And you would get very occasional breaks in that formula, but that was how actors approached it. They didn't understand that it's not about being an emotionless asshole. It's about being an asshole with emotional control.
Susie Plaxton. Dr. Seelar.
Yes, but that's because she's perfect.
Okay.
As an Eamon will attest. Whereas in New Trek, especially, I feel like almost every single Vulcan actor, even with like bit parts like Patara, for example, they have that element of there is emotion, but it is strictly controlled, and it's personality, not flavorlessness. I feel like they've gotten the hang of directing Vulcans. I personally feel that anyway. No.
Hold on, podcast listeners. No.
Hand.
Okay, it's funny you say that, because when we started talking about it, my first thought was, because I haven't seen much of her in Discovery. I haven't seen the 4th season of Discovery. My first thought was, oh, is she an Enterprise-esque dick like every single Vulcan in that show, or did they give her a little bit of nuance?
No, Tarina's great. We love Tarina.
Yeah, we like doing great.
Tina, I'll keep calling her
Tarina.
Oh, Tina.
I
Oh, it's Doug.
as long as we're talking Disco Vulcans, Sarek in Discovery is kind of a dick, but like the perfect brand of Sarek dick.
Yeah.
Where
Sorry, please
he's
explain to me
aloof.
what the perfect brand of Sarek dick is.
Fuck.
And the children shall lead. No, he's a dick, and he's aloof, and he's superior, but he's also
Compassionate and
enormously
strong and
competent and wise
and
intelligent, and he's earned it. So he doesn't go out of his way just to. I think his son Spock is kind of the only one he tweaks on purpose. But everyone else, he's just and maybe the Tellarite, but it's like he's just
And Cybok.
just the way he carries himself. It's like it's really true to the character that Mark Leonard crafted, in my opinion.
And Picard. I like Shyporn's comment. It's like, Amanda loves that perfect brand of Sarek dick.
I keep expecting to hear the Full House theme kick in after we play that track.
No, hang on. Let me try that again. Hang on. Sorry. Amanda loves that perfect brand of Sarek dick. All right. Before we get copyright violations.
You killed him. You've killed him. He's fucking dead.
I know it's coming, but it's so good. It's so
She'd be
stupid.
too emotional for a 23rd or 24th century Vulcan. Yes, I agree, which is good because she's a 32nd century Vulcan who has learned to live in harmony with Romulans, well, partly in harmony. So they should be different. They should be a bit more mellow. Like, if you look at the Vulcans' progression across time, they have only gotten more mellow, thankfully, because God knows they were fucking assholes to begin with.
1,000 years is a long time. You know, pluck someone out of the 1100s and see how they would react in modern day. Like
They'd be like, "You live to 40? What?"
Speaking of, it's been a long time. It's been a long time.
I'm not dead yet. Yes, you are.
It's been a long time getting from there to here,
Getting
but
from
Voyager
there
managed
to
it
here.
over a period of 7 years, in which case they encountered Kelis, who was not bringing his milkshakes to the yard, but in fact bringing his presents to a 400k reward in the next events, which, if you haven't got his wonderful, boring, but potentially might be useful skill set already, you can in fact get him fairly easily, more easily than it was for me to blurt out that really terrible segue.
I hate
Kelis, a
that we
playwright,
can't get away from the milkshake.
seeks to use his plays. Now keep talking.
Stop playing it.
As a
Play
way
it.
to
Play
prevent war between
Play it.
rival
Play the fucking
What
song.
am I
am I
on his
playing?
own
What am I
planet.
playing?
You're playing Milkshake by
I
Kelis,
haven't got a
you dimwit.
cue. I don't want to get sued.
Why
Come
not?
on.
Kelis is here!
On you.
Oh, dear.
I feel like this is when we talk about this crew, I pull them up on Big Book so I can see all the different stats, flavor text, everything else. This is tier 8, and I feel like that's kind of a disservice. Maybe this isn't a card you want to invest in ground up right now, but if you have over time, you probably saw him start to voyage on star 4, and once star 5 kicks in, voyage on a couple different seats. He's got pretty good traits overall, like eclectic traits, Rider, Maverick. This is like a good card.
Thank you.
Anyway,
How many seconds are we allowed before they copyright
I think
strike us?
I've hit the limit there.
Oh, Jesus.
Do you
Anyway,
want this card?
The other
No.
in joke is that
Fuck
he's
it,
wearing.
I hate this card.
He's wearing the WWF Championship
big belt.
gold belt.
well, you should steal it off Big Show or like what?
Well,
So I love this, right? I'm looking at the chat, okay? Kyra says this. Kelis is from one of his favorite, from their favorite episodes. Shouldn't assume gender. Meanwhile, Shy is like, this episode of Voyager is ridiculous. I happen to really like this episode. I'm curious why Shy doesn't like it, because it's all about acting and writing. I like it.
Sucks.
I really like it. What's wrong with it? Pros and cons.
Oh, well, we'll save it for that then.
Yeah. Name says, got Kelis on day one, massively underrated card, got a solid year and a half of solid Voyager work out of him. So, yeah, a year and a half after the fact, though. Bear in mind he's no Voyage 241. I mean, communicator, resourceful, collections.
All right, you ask him, so now you got to read the response.
About what? That episode of Voyager is written by a former drama student who wanted to make the most of their overpriced theatre school education. Oh, look, I studied Greek drama in university. Shy, I don't think that the writer of... You know, let me look up. Who wrote that episode? It is the episode of Voyager called Muse, not to be confused with the awful DS9 Muse. It could be, actually.
DC Fontana.
No,
it could not have been DC Fontana.
So, Kelis and the Kelly Waymeyer equivalent from this episode, Lena, neither of them have costumed. They're literally costumed for a play.
Yeah. Well, she is. I don't think he is.
Someone tweet Star Trek timelines, please, and let's get.
Well, because he's not wearing the mask. He shouldn't be costumed.
Do you think he wears that belt to bed, or is that perhaps part
absolutely.
Of the costume?
Wouldn't you?
If I had that, that'd be part of my.
Yeah, Joe Manosky, who wrote, among other things, Dramatis Personae, Rivals, Distant Voices, Suspicions, The Chase, Time's Arrow. He worked on Darmok.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
First
He was
Contact.
tangentially attached to Darmok.
He did teleplay and the story, so yeah, he was. Unimatrix Zero, The Voyager Conspiracy, that's an excellent episode.
Look, Shy.
Yeah, Latent Image. I like a lot of these episodes.
Shy, what you don't realize is this is a case of parallel planet development. And so, of course, everything is going to be just like Greek tragedy because they developed just
it's
like
the Hodgkin's theory. Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Also, the idea that, like, it's ridiculous that the whole Greek culture is based on Greek mass drama. The Yangs and the Cons exist, my guy. Like, Star Trek has always been about planets of the hats. What's your hat? Planista. Like, everyone has their hat that they wear. The Vulcans like logic. The Romulans like sneakiness. The Klingons like violence. Okay, that seems like subterfuge. Like, it's the planet of the hats thing.
Here on the series finale of Timelines Talks, we're going to give you a little bit of insight. When Stars was visiting, we recorded all those intakes. We were going to do, what's the name of the episode? The Ed Plebnista one. I had a giant, I think you've seen in previous award show episodes, the giant American flag. I was going to carry that out and have Stars reread the entire Shatner, what was it, Bill of Rights or whatever, the We the People. I'm going to have him do the whole thing, in his British accent. It would have been so good, but I couldn't find the flag, so...
Yeah, and I was really disappointed about that because it would have been hilarious. And then we ended up workshopping the Discovery. I know that guy over there, and he's in a band. Cut to you with the sax, which is still one of my favorites.
Yeah, I adore that. I need to go dig that up again and put it somewhere. That's so good.
And speaking of which, Joe Manosky also helped write Leth, which is the awesome season 1 episode between Sarek and Burnham when they talk about the truth of her graduation.
I just found out that Trev is a fan of Lucha Underground, so indie wrestling fans unite.
Damn right. Don't get this card. Get Princess Talia instead. You should have gotten her. Yeah. She's this card a year ago.
But if you're chasing for Tarina, you're going to end up with him anyway.
I guess.
So... If you want Tarina,
if you're into the Pokemon thing of get every card, then yeah, I guess.
Go Kelis! Use Thunderbolt!
I was going to record a bit, but then I got drunk. That's crazy. Ooh, was going to record a bit, but then I got drunk.
Anyway.
I don't know why. Why, man? Ooh, because I got drunk. Because I got drunk. Because I got drunk. Da, 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 da. Oh yeah, the extended clip.
Oh wow, yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Man, I watched that music video a lot because it was on the Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back Disc 2 special features.
Oh wow.
I watched that a lot. Yeah, I know, right? That's
I
a
recently
pull.
tracked down a copy of Dogma as well, which is hard to get these days, and I really want to.
Dogma's so good, man.
No, Dogma's really good. I remember enjoying it when I watched it. I'm looking forward to going back into that.
Beholdometer.
Yes.
Before we
Do
do
it.
The
that,
monkey.
before we
Push
do
the
that,
button,
we
monkey.
have
Wow.
one more crew to talk about, and it's an important one
Boring.
because
Is it?
she is in the campaign, the
We have two more
Uber
to talk
campaign next month. It is in fact Daring Tilly from season 4 episode. Can't remember the title because I don't know them that well, but it is a very good one where her and Adira take a group of cadets on a mission to an Arctic planet. Daring Tilly, Command Sec Psi, we might think, oh boo, but she is Voyage rank number 10 in 3 collections, 2 of which, well, all of them actually are fairly tricky now with the Voyage the collection expansion. Daring Tilly, this was a good moment for Tilly. This was kind of a send-off as well for season 4, for those that don't know. She is only in sort of half the season where she then sort of goes off. I think Mary Wiseman ended up going to Broadway for a bit, so she took a sort of break from the rest of Discovery, but rest assured she is back for season 5, thank God, because
I love Mary Wiseman.
I
She's
love
great.
me some Tilly. Tilly is great.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to, actually, we're planning to watch Context for Kings on Saturday as part of our Star Trek, and I'm really excited because that is like that's the first Tilly episode, so I'm quite excited.
It also has one of the best speeches in all of Modern Trek, which is Senka's thing, which is the third episode of Modern Trek, and that Context is for King speech is great. I love this art, actually.
Yeah.
This is... we've had multiple examples of how to do the kind of facing the camera, but not, because she's looking off like into the distance. You can tell that she's not looking straight at the camera in a creepy way. There's a bit of dynamism with the snow on the jacket. She's got the phaser in her hand, the windswept hair. It's just all the details help make a more dynamic pose. And I don't know, this is really cool, and I fucking love that Trek is finally committing to, hey, you're going on an away team. Don't just wear the fucking uniform. Wear a jacket. Wear something warm. Wear appropriate gear for what you're doing. Don't just wear the onesie. You know, I appreciate that we're in the place where we can spend money on good costumes.
I think the idea with the onesie is like you have enough equipment on you that you don't need. I think there was an idea that there was enough protection.
But they only
there.
have a tricorder, a phaser, and
they didn't follow it through. I think there was supposed to be this kind of superiority to our technology that they never actually paid off of. Whereas, like,
what if you want a snack?
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
it's not like I've got any room in my onesie for a packet of Oreos, is it?
Yeah.
What's my baby going to do to feed me?
Even in the cage, they
Trail
had
mix.
more better stuff. Yeah. Also,
Trail
do
mix
we
is
have
the
flavor
high-
text?
Trail mix is the high-calorie food you need, not Oreos.
That's the worst flavor text ever.
Yeah. Well, trail mix is
I'm going to pull a score char and say, well, no, I'm not doing it.
No,
Actually, we
not
don't
doing
have any flavor text, do we? Because Shan released the stats on the forums.
Along with Adira, Tilly leads a training mission for cadets. Overcoming fuck you idle, the obstacles they face leads Tilly to make an important choice.
Man, they put that in there.
Only available on BigBook.net.
Oh wow, that's great.
There it is.
So I was gonna say, because I love the hair here. It's so good, and it's so. I
yeah.
looked up the stranded crew. Unfortunately, Quark doesn't have any hair at all.
Yeah.
And Odo's is just like a machination of his goo, like formed into shape, so it wouldn't blow around anyway. So it's like finally we have a stranded crew, and Kraft is so short. Plus he was indoors anyway. This is like finally they got some long hair to work with.
Yeah, no, this kind of sells the winter campaign idea better almost than the ones they had last year, which was what Ruapente Kirk and
that's right.
who was the 4-star? Ransom Strand, who looked like he was immaculate because he was filming inside on the set. So I find it interesting. We were just talking about how good Dread Pirate Q is on Voyages. This is pretty much identical. This is a really good Tilly for once.
This is the best Tilly.
Yeah,
to
she
get.
sucks.
If you want some good Tillies, this is good Tilly.
Kiddly of Kiddles, didn't I? Or kidneys, whatever. All right, so we had Eric's recently and Dread Pirate Q, both Command 6i. She's right there with them. Boy, it's so weird that Gary 7 is now 4th on that list. He was a Minch for so long. But yeah, it is a fine skill set. It's much better than Command Dip Psi or Command Dip Sec. You know, it might be like 4th on the list of commonality or whatever, but it's still a good skill set. So yeah, a good Voyager, and Kelis was transformative. Like if we're doing the history of timelines, and if you were doing a Mount Rushmore of crew, she'd probably make it on there. Like Locutus, First Officer Burnham, Captain Killian, and one more, I might say.
Braxton, maybe?
Braxton, yeah.
Maybe Braxton, yeah, just for the length. So, wink.
Just for the length, huh?
I was nearly tapping my laugh trigger there, but I resisted.
I was going to keep rolling. That being said, Tilly has had so many misfires, like a bunch of middling to useless purples. Party Tilly and Wonderland Tilly
long, this thick?
are so identical that we literally, when Wonderland Tilly came out in a campaign, we literally talked about Party Tilly for like the entire segment, and no one realized it until the next week.
Yeah, it's true.
So, and then Cadet Tilly is might be actually the worst collection crew in the universe. So, yeah, she did have that big hit with Killing. That was great to see. And now this is going to be a good refresh of, hey, if you like the character, which a lot of people do because she's very flamboyant, this is going to be your crew for the next couple of years.
Yeah, no, I will absolutely grab this campaign with a bit more surety than I will this current one with Spockers to bring, because I like the moment and it's a fun thing, but it's just a case of it doesn't do anything for me statistically because of the power level. This is just the right power level, just the right affection for the character, just the right great art that I'm like, yeah, no, I want this campaign crew. Like, we've talked about how we don't want Uber campaign crew to make all the other crew come out seem like ridiculously lame, because that's not a fun thing for people who don't want to pay that amount of money, which is completely valid. But for people who like me, for example, right? I have not finished Eric's. I didn't get Dread Pirate Q. You know, my supplements for this exact skill set would be someone like Korea Burnham, which is a bit old. She's like, you know, Voyage rank 100-ish now, I think. This would be a really good refresh for me. It's a characterful. I think that this is a good campaign pick for me. Like, I'm going to grab all 4 stars of her, and people who don't want that, you pick up a different crew. Like, this is kind of this, Laris, and maybe there was one other one who we were really complimentary about. I can't remember who the other one was.
No, I was just trying to think of the Uber campaign crew.
So, let me read them off quickly. Second Chance, Laris, Federation President Rilak, Kalakankai Elnor, temporarily detained Jet Reno, Puppy Placated Janeway, Evie Suit Mariner, Judoka Kirk, Barkley, and Neelix Spock as T'Pring.
About 3 good ones there.
Yep. For me, this is the best.
There's some pretty good ones.
This is the best since Laris, which I think we all liked her art at the time. Trace or no trace, cool art, and unique as a gauntlet crew, especially since they've been loading up exclusives so much. And then we had a bunch of Command Dip something. So, yeah, fun crew, great art.
Yeah,
Kelis had Tilly. I keep saying Killy. Like, Killy has become the character for me now because of that card. So,
you know what? I really want.
Is this your favorite campaign crew out of those names listed, or
I think Second Chance Laris is probably my favorite because that had such a.
From a gameplay perspective, Laris absolutely, because she's actually a regular footage on my thing. But in terms of like, I really want this card because of what it means for the character and my roster, and getting to have that card on my roster in a regularly used thing, which is what we always talk about. We always want our characters to appear on our roster and our voyages regularly. This is probably my favorite. You know, there's the best, and then there's the favorite. You know.
Listen, let's try something new for the year. Right, for next year, we're going to be trying a few new things. We're going to be revamping Timelines Talks. Does this, in fact, get the Timelines Talks thumb of approval?
Oh, God.
Yes. They get the thumb of this.
Thumb. No? Should we workshop that? No? Okay.
I bite my thumb at you.
All right. Since Chad is talking a lot about Arena, and since I gave Idle a heads up on this, let's talk about Ruapente Commandant, who is the
totally
premium track.
He was an idiot.
It's said with affection, Idol. It's said with affection, we promise.
Okay, carry on.
So, for a while, okay, so first we had Kelis. And if you were around for Polywater Yar, she was absurdly broken when she first came out. And they nerfed her literally the second they stopped selling her pack with a server push. That is an incredibly juicy bit of drama in Timeline's history. But a lot of people who were upset that they nerfed Yar wanted their money back, and they said, okay, well, I'll also take Kelis instead, because I really want the best arena crew out there, and that was Kelis. So she was the top for a while. And then it became this triumvirate of Kelis, Ruapenthe Commandant, and Fury Kes, which for a long time, if you were retrieving for Gauntlet, it was those three. If you're starting a new account, maybe that will really help you out there. And so Commandant was kind of neck and neck for me with Kelis. Obviously, she's much better in Gauntlet, and she has a better skill set. But the older they get, I start to look more toward their traits, and he has a lot of cool traits. Klingon veteran, survivalist, villain, hunter, brutal, all this non-standard
Juicy
stuff.
traits, yeah.
Yeah, so he was a good retrieval, still is. As a triggerless crew, still great for skirmishes and arenas. So do you have any particular affection for him? If you were a new player, does this maybe make that a great campaign to jump into if you want to spend a little money?
He's Ira fucking Graves, man. I need
To
him.
know him.
Is to love him, and to love him is to know him. Like that, we not got that card yet. That's what I really want. But this is a great fucking Undiscovered Country is full of so many good scenes, and this is just such a wonderfully bumblefuckery way of executing a prison escape. He's got such a sense of humor.
Since
And
you're
you know
all
what?
going to die anyways, why not tell you?
His name is exactly. And it's like, I don't know, maybe it wasn't quite the intention, but like it really helped sell the US versus Soviet, détente end of the Cold War thing with this character who is very sort of Russian in style. Like, I think of the stereotypes of like, the Russian commandant in like World War II movies, for example, or all the games I've played. A slightly more positive portrayal of Russians in war than now. Yeah. And he's just a good, fun, flavorful character. Yeah, I got. When are we gonna get a really, really, really good hunter Voyager? That trait is still on the fucking list, and no one is good for it. It's like what Ruapenthe Commandant and then Chuff Captain. That's about it.
That's why they really want you to get that Dreamwalker Chakotay.
So he has this interrogator trait, which I find hilarious because he has 6 lines in the entire movie. Only one of them ends in a question mark, and it is, why not tell you, in which case he is divulging information to someone who is questioning him. So he's the antithesis of an he's the interrogated. Kirk asks him a question, he spills his guts with impunity, he doesn't question anyone on anything, and they give him the interrogator trait. So I always find that hilarious.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just
Should we
don't
do
worry
it
about
By the way, another good. This is mid 2019. This is good art, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of flavor to it.
I'd bring it up, but I can't
He's
find
happy
it.
to be there.
I love the snow on the. Yeah, we probably shouldn't talk about it because of Idol's professionalism, but like the snow on the shoulders, the one eye that was plucked out. Like, this is good art. This is.
I have to go to the data call.
That's
So
character.
anyway, we'll do a bit.
It evokes feelings, affection.
Let's do that. Right, let's see if my beholder meter still works, because I haven't used it for quite a while. Let's turn the crew off. Let's press this button. Does this work? Oh, it still works! Hurrah!
There you
Right.
go. Congratulations.
It's time to give me a sound of some description, please. Stars.
All right.
Can't hear
You
it.
gotta
Picking up on the mic. Yeah.
Oh, it's-
Yeah.
okay.
There you go. I had to keep on talking.
0 stars on Saboteur Garak. 0 stars on Camping Archer and Porthos. 1 star on Romulan Data. Tricky. Because although Camping Archer and Porthos were the number 1 Voyager for a time, they are a redundant skill set that has been eclipsed
10th
several
now.
times now. Kind of going
Were
down
they
that
the
ladder.
shortest reign of number 1 Voyager?
Close. Reunion Kirk and Spock had like about 3 days before they released another collection and tweaked it.
Unboosted is the only score that matters.
Of course.
Here. That is still technically Braxton's reign, and I won't have you besmirch his name.
I'm going to be unpopular, and I might have to say Garrick here.
I'm kind of thinking that too.
Because you get instant damage, great traits, good art, even if he has slightly a claw hand. Good. He does get events. Hard collections. Cardassian is fucking hard to do with any halfway decent. And with the skill set, he might still voyage if you're on an older roster. Like, that'd be my pick.
You're so overdue for a good Garrick. Like,
Yeah,
that guy
we
is
could get a few more.
outsized in his presence on DS9, and he has a couple really old golds and then like one purple that was printed in the last 4 years. So
Yes,
we could really easily get like
this is after Cisco punched him.
Yeah,
Sorry.
because he's got a bit of the blood on his mouth. We could easily get by Inferno's light Garrick, when he's having the claustrophobia attack.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah.
someone called him the Michael Jackson's Thriller Garrick because he's doing the
Yeah. That's fine by me.
Why do we all have to do that? Every time someone says Thriller, you're just like,
It's just hypnotic. You gotta do it.
we know what it is.
The power of the thriller.
Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise. Really quite hypnotic. It's probably still Archer. He is still a fantastic Voyager,
Depends
and
who
even
you
though
have.
he's going to drop... Look, you think he's going to drop fast. Ask Romulan Data, Voyage rank number 500, how fast he's going to drop. So
Really? Wow.
he's still relevant. He's still strong, and he has a couple. What does he have? Survivalist for playing in a cornfield for 3 minutes, explorer and pilot. So he has a couple traits. He'll get some
Pet
collections
people
over
as well,
time.
if you're interested in that.
and
You
pet, that's
forget.
right, pet
Yeah.
people.
The problem with Archer is then you have to have Archer on your roster.
Ooh, racing liners and
Boom,
shambles.
boom, 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 boom.
She's
boom, boom,
she-
boom,
boom, boom, boom,
boom, boom, boom, boom, boom.
She's the enterpriseologist of the stream. She understands.
Okay.
We have conversations about Archer. It's fine.
Hold on, is
But yeah,
that
that's my pick.
Seinfeld? Is that Seinfeld trigger enabled for subs, or is that just a stream?
No, that's
deck
just
thing?
me.
Only he can Seinfeld it up.
I can only I have the power of the Feld. Okay, let's spin it again. Give me another sound. Auto.
He's that
I'm
way.
ill prepared for this. I just gave you the Seinfeld sting. Come on.
Do it again.
Ba ba da da ba da.
Okay. 2 stars on Kawat Malat Gabriel Burnham. 2 stars on... I've forgotten his name. The Zindi scientist. Degra, thank you. 0 stars on Bell Riot's Dax. Why does my heart want to say Degra?
Because it's
He's got tons of collections, and he's got an interesting arena
But
ability.
my eyes say Burnham. Gabriella.
I would pick Burnham here. She's got really nice traits. I like him. And I just like Gabby. I like her as a character, and I appreciated this moment in Discovery Season 3 a lot. I liked it.
Yeah,
I'm sentimental.
Not Dax.
She's got the most relevant traits.
Mm.
But
Do you remember when the line in Timelines back in like 2019 was like always take a Dax?
Always take Dax.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it always was.
You
Now it's
remember
like,
those? Yeah.
Never fucking take Dax. Now,
When was the
like,
last fucking Dax variant you saw?
I think we're
was
looking
fucking
at it.
Niners
Oh no,
Ezri?
Alternate Future. Alternate Future was the last good.
Back in 2019, 3 years
Dax.
ago? Fucking
Yeah.
hell, man. Bad times.
esteemed Curzon Dax, hello, great collection
Oh.
piece.
Sitting in the timeline.
Yeah, all those events to hang his hat on.
I mean, he actually does. He counts for a Dax variant, so he's had 25
Yeah,
events.
he gets all those variant events which have been happening so regularly.
I mean, 1 this year, 1 last year, 3 the year before, 3 the year before. So it's a decent amount.
Not enough.
Degra.
They're all 1701 Jadzia anyway. They're not actually Dax variants. It's all her.
All right, I'm gonna spin
I'm
it.
sorry. What is
Degra?
the what?
Degra? Anyone? Degra? No. Anyone? No. Degra?
Anybody?
Yes.
No. Degra.
No, Degra,
Anybody?
yes.
No.
Bueller.
Degra.
It's all right because
Bueller?
if you eat twice as much,
Bueller?
if you eat only half as much Degra, you can have twice as much. Right, let's
No.
spin it again.
Don't.
Give me a
I
sound.
thought you were going to do a
stars.
dad joke and then hit the sting.
It's
No,
your
I-
turn to do this noise.
Oh, my
All
turn.
right,
Okay. Right. Ooh. 3 stars on EDF Adira.
I think I just saw Behold with someone missing in the third slot.
3 stars on EDF Adira. 0 stars on Gary 7. 0 stars on Mycelial Culber. This is tough. That's actually quite tough.
No, it's scary. Just because you can get, well, Culber too, but you can get a lot of value at 1 star there. Going from 3 to 4 doesn't do anything for Adira.
Culber
Can you retrieve that, Culber?
You can, yes. I
believe
think so,
so,
yeah. You can retrieve Gary as well, but I feel...
Well, Gary's easy. Yeah. Gary's like a 2-spotable style one.
I feel
Okay, yeah, you
coin.
can get Culber.
You can flip a coin. Like Culber is a boss on Voyages. So is Gary for a point, but he's great on Gauntlet as well. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'd say get the first star on Gary and get that Gauntlet going. Maybe.
It's scary.
I would pick Culber. Mostly because I find Gary a tiny bit overrated in Gauntlet, and I would prefer the Med Psi command on Voyage. That's my personal feeling on it.
Well, are you siding up Mycelial Culber?
Why not?
Why not? Because he's not that great.
He's great. No,
I mean, he's pretty good still, if I recall. He is actually. I forgot
Voyage
he's actually
100.
okay.
Yeah, which is
Yeah,
good.
the skill set way outperforms that.
Yeah.
Okay, but do you have at
right.
least one other crew you would cite ahead of him?
On my current roster, probably, but I've had this Culber done for like 3 years. So
Let me bring up Captain Idle's Voyage analysis sheet.
I'm not saying he's a bad Voyager. I'm saying, would you cite him from 1 star?
yes, I would. Absolutely, I would.
I think I would as well.
Like, doesn't he have like a ridiculous antimatter chance as well? I can't remember if that's calculated, but it's
Physician
like
gives him a lot of use.
Voyagers in the last year: Inspiring Captain Burnham, Lieutenant Commander Spock, Vidala Elder, Acting Captain Eric's Corrupted Badgie, Professor Data, Pathfinder Uhura, Barge of the Dead Taurus, Agamus, Evie Suit Boimler, Enterprise Pike, Daring Tilly, Dread Pirate Q, Dupler Emissary. You're saying you would cite none of those ahead of rank 100 Mycelial Culber?
A, I love Culber. B, only 3 of the crew you mentioned have Med as a skill, and only one of them... No, none of them have Med as a primary, only one of them has it as a secondary, and 2 of them has a tertiary.
Damn, I need a mic
Genos,
drop
You
button.
need Meds.
Genos called me. I said the banned word on the stream. I apologize for that.
I don't know, man. Like, and not mention, you will appreciate this, and you can't argue this point. The art is fantastic.
I mean, we just talked today about King Ridley, who is a med primary and will last for years longer on
I think it
Voyages.
comes down to that physician trait and how useful it is on those last 2 slots in your Voyages, and I think that's where Mycelial Culber absolutely rules. And I've seen it
I'm
in
not
practice.
saying he's
pretty
a
sure he has
bad
like a-
Voyager. I'm not saying he's a
that's-
bad Voyager, but 4 sites on him immediately.
Yeah, I kind of would.
Depends where you are with your game. It really does. I think if you have got some of these alternate options, if you did very mistakenly go to the web store and buy Evie Suit Boimler, what are you doing with your life? Seriously. Then, yeah. But I use him... Yeah, I use him as much as I use Hollow Engineers, Zimmerman, and Dexter. Like, it's good voyage potential. Yeah, I would say to some people, if this was the first star you're picking up for him and you don't have any other crew of his caliber, yeah, stick those sights on him. I would also say the same for Gary 7. But I would say Gary 7 has the added benefit of having the gauntlet. He doesn't get for myself, he doesn't get as much voyage usage as Mycelial, but it's still useful, especially at any
We need to ask
range.
Big McLarge Huge next time he's around, because I think he would be with me. This is the fantasy football forward-thinking mindset, where, yes, Mycelial is great, and he's been great for, 2 years, 2.5 years? I think it was right at the beginning of 2020. But they're printing crew right now who will get those 2 years back, and he won't. He's still,
not as many
he's
that's
good
getting
now.
True.
We've seen how much
But Culber is also an event name, because, like, guess what? Gary 7 ain't getting any fucking variants.
True. We could see more Culber variants.
We will see more Culber variants. We absolutely know we have. We have Mirror, Dr. Culber, we have Bajoran, like, and we'll get more.
Culber had 0 events in 2017, 2018, 2019, and this year.
Are you not counting Disco Megas, or...?
I'm not counting Disco Megas.
You're not counting Disco Megas.
All right, you smarmy pricks, we're getting a Disco Mega. We're getting a Disco Mega next, and you're going to sit here with your insider information. You're going to sit here with your insider information and act like you're so much smarter than me? As if a week ago you thought there would be Discovery Megas ever again.
All right, let's spin this.
You pricks! You pricks! I have played the straight man for so long, I will not be made a fool of any longer, alright? Enjoy all your med seats in the events.
Okay, so give me that noise. Chat, give me a noise. Someone do me a noise in chat. I won't stop it until someone does some sort of noisy text in chat.
Everyone's watching to see what you will do.
Okay.
You unwashed assholes.
See, that's when I usually end the show. I'm got like triggered with this. Gotta ride it out. Okay, 0 stars on that mud. 0 stars on Frank Hollander. 0 stars on Mirror Data. I forget. Harcourt Fenton mud. And on Mirror Data. Mirror Data, Frank Hollander, mud.
Oh, I'm feeling good in my heart. I feel happy.
You pricks.
We love you so much. I guess I'd probably take Frank Hollander here.
Yeah, me too.
Follow the traits. He's got the best collections.
You know, people rag on Gauntlet Crew and their awful bases. I think I've used Red Angel or Locutus of Borg like 6 or 7 times this year. Because like, if they get a bonus, like it kind of almost doesn't matter how bad their bases are unless their name is Gowron. Like,
yeah.
These days you have to run 1 or 2 requisition shuttles to get a couple copies of the gold. So you don't really have to fit 4 shuttles. You have to fit 6 or 7 shuttles a lot of the time. And so there's so much command dipsec seating that those crew do work out. So
yeah, and it's also a case of, especially with Data, he doesn't have a ton of command and sec variants. He has HMS Pinafore and Age of Sail, and both of those are pretty bad as well. So it's like, at least with Holiday you get some collection value, which the other ones don't really have.
Can I just say something about Mirror Data? Because I like the comics he comes from. I really do. I'm so pissed off they cut off his arm. Like, it's like,
yeah,
it's
that's the
so
thing I hate the
annoying.
most about the arm. People complain about the face. It's like, no, the arm is the most offensive thing.
They're finished. They could have just zoomed him out.
Put in the pose if you can't finish it, you know?
Yeah, so bad.
hold on, is he that way in game 2? I'm gonna look him up in the.
Oh yeah, he absolutely
Yeah,
is.
he must be.
Yeah.
I have the complete art here. Like, it can't. The comics are great. I love that kind of Mirror Universe arc in the comics. Like, it's so dumb. It's so over the top with jacked Picard and, like, really angry Riker and, like, emo Wesley. It's so dumb.
Emo Wesley.
Yeah, it's so... I want emo Wesley. I wish they'd do some more of those comic cards, because we could get, like, Mirror Barkley. There's a Mirror Jellicoe in there as well. Like, it's...
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's really good.
Is he like fucking Hulk Hogan? Is that what he looks like? Is that what Jellicoe? Like Hulk Hogan with Roddy Cox's face? Yeah, exactly. I want the handlebars.
It's really good. Like, they've done some more of it recently as well. Like, I wish they'd go back and look at that license. That'd be really fun. But yeah, it's probably Frank.
Yeah, it's Frank.
If they gave us Mutton Chop Jellicoe pointing at the screen and the little audio clip, get it done, I would pull on that 6-pack.
They could give us a suited Jellicoe, you know, one in just like a normal suit, and then have him as like FBI interrogator Jellicoe and have like a Stargate.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about RoboCop.
Oh no, he's going to do that as well. I mean, he's pretty much that character in every. You know, every time
it's the Ronnie Cox
is
character,
in something, is in a suit playing like a shady political villain. Like, that's what he does in Stargate and everything else, you know. That's just his jam, man.
Yeah, it's Frank Hollander.
It's Frank. All right. I need a noise. Chat again. Oh, Perfect. Look at that. Oh, it's you, Stars.
I had it ready. I had it cocked from the gun.
Okay. 0 stars on Chancellor Gorkon. 0 stars on Bell Riots Bashir. Or 0 stars on First Officer Burnham. Feel like this is a bit of a gimme. I mean, look at that bone cane.
Well, I have been told repeatedly that everyone has told me that FOB noted trash crew. I don't use her on voyages anymore. She's awful. I've been told this many times. I've been told this.
But a bone cane in the hands of a bone cane.
You were just ragging on Command 6i earlier, which she is.
I was.
To be fair, I haven't used First Officer Burnham in quite a while. Well,
You and your ivory tower.
Yeah.
it's quite big. There's a lot of cells in my ivory tower.
Is it a spreadsheet?
Yeah!
There you go. Yeah.
It's
Suck my cock.
it's a good thing no one watches this show, because you assholes
Yeah.
putting me in that position.
We love you so much.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's good TV, man. It's good TV. FOB for the Discovery Mega. Who's telling you these things?
Who
What?
knows? Discovery? Who would release a mega and a collection about such things?
In
Let's spin it again.
2022, that just seems ridiculous.
All right, hold on. Instead of behold a meter, which one of these three
Oh,
would you least prefer to fight in hand-to-hand combat?
I like this.
Least prefer.
Keeping in
Gorkon.
mind that Darth
Gorkon.
Bashir may be able to shoot lightning out of his fingertips. We don't know yet.
I think it's Gorkon.
Burnham.
Ooh.
She knows Susmana. She could kick my ass really easily.
She'd kick your ass, but she
Gorkon is a
wouldn't-
pacifist by nature.
She'd-
He's a pacifist.
Right, okay. Let's go into a few kinks here. She'd be more into a kind of like she'd Seuss
Into a
Mahani
few kinks, shall we?
into a kind of more submissive role where she'd sort of suppress you. She wouldn't inflict damage other than what is necessary. Gorkon would take that bone cane and put it right through your fucking heart. So
But he's literally there to promote peace.
at the time, but if you were to fight him,
We don't know if he was a big fighter in his day,
he
actually.
must have been. He's a Klingon. He's the Chancellor.
Spoken like one of the warrior caste. Antec would be ashamed.
We are going to play the Trek equivalent of F, Marry, Kill at some point. What do we call Horgon, Vaporize, and something else? Yeah, we'll screw that
Energize.
up. Yeah.
I'd marry Gorkon.
Yeah.
I'd kill.
Yeah, but
I'd kill
point.
Bashir.
Burnham killed the Klingon torchbearer within 5 seconds
I'd kill
with a
Bashir.
jetpack.
And anyway, next behold.
How many of these are we doing?
I don't know how until we get bored.
Until we can get you to make another outburst.
Ta-ra!
Perfect. It's Burnham again. Now let's re-roll that. We've had 2 of those. Need another sound chat. Come on, chat. Find those triggers you have been so waiting to use.
Yeah, no, you paid the subscription for them. Use them.
Do you use them? Why not? You've got them there. The list is in chat. Fine, I'll use one. Where are we? Hang on.
We're
You
on
can
like
beat me
a
to-
10-second delay, so
Absolutely.
Yeah, it does get exponentially longer as you stream.
wink.
Wow, look at him try.
That'll do. Right, 0
There you go,
stars
that's fine.
on
It appears
Plutonium.
we have lost our sex appeal, Captain.
That's an underused one. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's the first time I've heard that.
0 stars on Plutonian Chekhov.
Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, hang on. What's that?
Stars Harryman.
Okay, let's try that again. Right, hang on. We'll do it with this one. Right. 0 stars on Pareth Ducat. 0 stars on Chancellor Garon. 0 stars on Atana Jol. I think I know what the answer to this might be, but Otto might disagree.
Okay, well, what would you pick, Idol?
Garon. For his
I would also pick
It's
Gowron.
amazing
so obviously
sword.
Gowron. Yeah.
His-
Yeah,
his-
it's actually Gowron.
the dip sword of Garon will nigh.
You have 1 star on him. If you have 0 stars on him, you want only 1 star on him for as long as possible.
All right. Hold on,
Parith
since-
Colt Ducat after that because he's such a trait fucking machine. But
Hold on. Since Stars Rat fucked me about 10 minutes ago, I told you for about 2 years that Power Wraith Ducat would be a good investment, and you
Yeah, he was.
chafed. But
No, I
yes,
finished him.
and it was worth it, right?
It absolutely was. Guess
just
what?
love to hear it.
Your advice has been follow the traits for like 5 years running, and it's been right every time.
Yes. But except Gowron here. But other than
Unless,
that,
unless you're
Go on here,
WRG,
go on
in
here.
which case you're not tweeting enough.
You know what?
ba-dum, boom, 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 ba-dum, boom,
Do you
boom.
guys do you guys miss this style of art for Gowron? Because it's very different.
Yeah.
I kind of
Yeah.
miss it a little bit.
So the 2017 Klingons, because they had a whole mega, it's super hit and miss. Like
feel
you
like
have the
we're talking about an
Klingon
era of rap.
Taurus.
Like it's like the albums, 27 rap albums when they're on the east side were just like they're so much more nuanced.
Look, I'm a stand for Tuvok Shakur, but the 2017 Klingons, they had some real big stinkers like Klingon Taurus. But yeah, some of this the Gowrons, the old stylized art, the good ones definitely hold up.
Actually, they could
For
all be
years, yeah.
standing in the same room. Like it's you could believe they're on the set together somewhere. Like this is some weird family
wrong.
comedy gone wrong.
Here's Shia porn with this
Leave it to Atana.
with this palette knife comment. I'm like, art good, art bad, and he's like, no, this is how art actually works.
And that's why he is
How
also
dare
a
he
host.
bring nuance to our conversations? How dare he?
I know about 3 terms, and shadow is one of them. So that's all I got.
Evoke.
That's right.
Evoke feelings,
Yeah. Evoke.
affection.
Chat. Ooh, Shyporn says Itana.
Why?
Maybe he can justify that while we roll another behold.
Oh, okay, we're gonna do another. All right. I'm gonna hang on. I need to find one we've not used for a while. Let's have a look. Or a new one.
How about a 5-star Harryman? Dude,
Oh, no,
there's
no.
some in here with only 2 crew.
Or how about,
My God, Bones. What have I done?
which is what I think every time I think about this channel. 0 stars
yeah,
on
alright.
Groundskeeper Boothby. 0 stars on, oh god, that Cardassian's name I've forgotten, who's also quite
Boothby
good.
replicant.
That is
Krelmo set.
Krelmo set
Yes.
and 0 stars again on Etana Joel, just to prove that our beholder meter is just as accurate as WRG's.
You could have had 2 stars on her.
There you go.
By the way, our channel's closed captioning said Krelmo set is a Kardashian. So
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, there you go.
We're keeping up with the Krelmo
It's
sets.
Boothby, Boothby,
No sets call it
and
these
Boothby.
days. Anyone?
Fuck off.
well, so is Boothby though.
Yeah.
I
Boothby
have
takes
such-
him around back and shoots him in the back of the head with his rolls. Even at 45%, my set's crap.
I have
Sorry.
such a soft spot for Krelmo set though.
Oh, the episode's great though. It is great.
The art
does
is
he.
okay. It's not spectacular, but it's okay. He's got
He's
good
got that
utility.
bisexual lighting going on.
No one thought that his traits would be as good as they are. He's got like 20 events from 5 traits or whatever. Enough gauntlet power when he came out. He was usable. Like if they printed a refresh of this card, he would be fantastic. He's useful in arena, can be used in arena, and then the episode itself was like evoke feelings, affection, basically. So a much better B'Elanna episode than Muse, in my
Are we
opinion.
just going to use that for... Can we just use evoke
I
feelings
don't
of
agree
affection
about that
in just-
point, but
Can we just use evoke feelings affection just as a terminology for anything that just... It doesn't matter where
It's
we
a
put it
meme.
in, just everyone just knows, yeah, I get that, I get that.
yeah,
Like, yeah,
it
I'm
evokes
with you, I
feelings,
know.
affection.
It
yeah,
does,
yeah,
it does.
yeah. It's me. I've right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't
Krill
think it's a
episode-
particularly great B'Elanna episode. I think it's a better Doctor episode, but
It was her Kira episode, though.
I
hate
guess. But
these- I
she
hate
spends
these
most of it
fuckers, and-
unconscious. That's the problem.
No, but she's awake and refuses the treatment. And
For a bit of it, yeah.
every episode is a Doctor episode, frankly.
Yeah, on Voyager it actually is. You're right. And sometimes that works to its benefit, like in Fairhaven.
And sometimes he's very tiny, on a chair. Squish.
Can we get that variant?
I want
Can we,
that
where it's
variant
like
so
90% in the chair? I'd like the tiny little Doctor.
All right, let's
They
do
would
one more.
oversize them, I bet.
Let's do
Yeah,
one
they
more.
would.
And
Alright.
we will finish it with the greatest clip of all time.
How have we gotten so many fucking gold giant 40 packs of
Just dinner like that, pal.
Greatest
That was the
combination.
greatest clip.
Dude, chat is on the ball. They all anticipated the...
Yes. Okay. 2 stars on Eevee Suit Archer, 0 stars on Cleon Kelia, or
Tiny
0
Blackson,
stars
yeah.
on First Officer.
Vaporizing Chekhov, yeah. It's Blackson, sorry.
It's
No,
Chekhov.
it's Blackson. No, it's
I
Blackson.
hate that it's Chekhov, but it actually is
No,
Chekhov.
It is not. No, it isn't.
A, he's the most relevant day-to-day use crew at the moment. B, he's not 100% retrievable.
Is he though? Like he was good for.
Is he though?
Yeah, but because like fine. You can use him for fleet boss battles, but you don't need to. He is objectively one of the really good ones, but if you're running,
Do you need to use a command dipset crew in any capacity though?
With actual collections and like great art, yeah.
So here's my counter pick. Let's just get another star on Archer just to get him the fuck off my crew.
No, never take a star on Archer. No, the actual my problem with that Chekhov is the same problem I have with Taco Mayweather, which is like, yeah, you can use him for that functionality, but you're still saddled with that crew that does nothing on every other area of the game. I'm pretty sure even Mayweather has like at least I think okay gauntlet rolls. This Chekhov is just repugnant. He's awful. He's command size sec.
Okay.
Void number 6 billion.
You know what? I take it back. Don't pull Chekhov. That is exactly the kind of not forward-thinking stuff that I just was talking about the other day. Yeah, he's the best useful current use crew right now, but A, you would want multiple stars on him. The reason you're taking him over other stronger hull repair crews is he's one of the few with an attack boost, which will help your damage output. So you actually do need stars on him in this case. And B, in 2 months or whenever they change over the boss, you may never, ever use him again.
Yeah, if
So
all
I
repair
get that he's not
becomes not the meta.
retrievable.
Yeah.
I get that he's not retrievable, but
That's kind of okay. So I had a behold recently that played to my fear of missing out, which was I think I had like 1 star on someone, 2 star on someone else, 0 stars on Captain Scott, a crew I have airlocked before. Pre-retrieval, I took Captain Scott because I know he is not retrievable, and I know he's trash. I don't like his card; he's absolutely awful, and that's probably why I've changed my tune. I would take Chekhov because he is not retrievable. And I
don't know you anymore.
No, and that's because I've now entered that part of the game, and I'm just like, well, I've got nothing else to do, so I might as well collect.
Well, where you make
all
bad
through.
decisions like taking Captain Scott in a behold and pulling 490s for fucking Harcourt Benton Mud.
It's been a wild ride, the show,
mad
hasn't it? It's
Yeah,
been good times.
I know, right? Fucking mad lad.
now he's actually I have him in the trait audit as Captain Scott is missing 4 traits. So if I ever tweet this at WRG, he may be, well, A, retrievable, and B, far more useful for collections.
What are the traits? I'm curious.
I'm gonna put
Veteran?
down Gambler, romantic in the Garrick sense. Like, not only is he hitting on all the women, but the nostalgia for the era. Survivalist. You know, however you want to think about the transporter, he is the one of the longest living humans in recorded history, and writer, because he does mention having written textbooks to Geordie. So
should he not also be a veteran, or is he already got that?
I don't
He's
think
4
he
traits,
is right
right?
now. No, yeah,
I think
but
he's
they
Human
give-
Starfleet Federation jury rigger. I'm pretty sure, isn't he?
Right.
That's
I think
it,
they
yeah.
give veteran mostly to like currently combat type. Yeah, he probably should have it, but
I would think he would qualify.
I think I looked up the combat stuff and I didn't find anything totally conclusive.
So
but
here's the
whatever.
thing.
Anyways,
We will go ahead and they'll say, oh yeah, no, put your trait audits to Twitter, but then Elon Musk will destroy it, and then we can't. Now there's no helping us.
Never
Elon
forget
Musk
that Elon Musk
is
High
canon.
School
Absolutely.
is canon. Yeah.
that's. By the way, that is a valid reason to hate New Trek. That, that they
I
made
actually
Elon
won't
Musk
disagree
canon.
with you there. I really won't.
Guess what? I can sweep it. I can wipe it away with all the season 1 TNG thing of that was under the old showrunners. It doesn't reflect the current outlook of the show.
I mean, Ice
It's like
was a bit of a hack as well, so you know.
that's true, actually. Yeah.
You don't even-
And
didn't invent
well, they
gravity.
never sucked Edison's dick, but I'm sure that they wanted to at some point.
So, to the faithful few who are not yet asleep, to our ASMR, I asked you twice, you didn't give us much feedback, but that's why we have a Discord. We will be changing things up in the new year. The 14th, we're having December 14th. We're doing the award show. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's like the one episode per year that we throw ourselves into, do a lot of recording, a lot of effects and editing and stuff. And Idle's been running himself ragged with that. So that's going to be great. And then, yeah, we're going to retool things in the new year. A lot more recorded content, a lot more different types of kind of one-off shows and shorter videos and streams and stuff. So if you have any opinions on stuff that you want to endure into the next year, let us know on Discord. Otherwise, we hope you'll enjoy what we have in store for you.
Shai's just sent me a link to a Q costume in Italian, and it says "Consenti le notifiche del sito," which is the notification. You know, do you agree to subscribe? It says "Consenti, non consenti." It's like consenti. And it's also £48. It's in English money, but it's in Italian, so I don't know.
That's a decent price.
I'm kind of half tempted, but I have a lot.
Dude,
yeah, we'll be doing a lot of fun things next year. I am
Great segue, though.
We can fundraise that.
We can. There are things I want to do. I want to do soon as well. I want to release a Timelines Talks album as well. I got a load of music I've made. That's something I'm planning to do at some point as well.
Can you do like a Dubstep remix of all my rants?
Oh no, there's an idea. I'd have to find them all, and there are a lot.
Like the beat drops, you just say, "What is he for?"
Yeah,
exactly.
Dubstep in there, yeah.
I think we're going to make that into a YouTube Shorts series. We'll just pick crew that you hate, and you can yell at the screen for 25 seconds.
Yell at television, yeah.
I want to get some more I want to get some more shorts out when I get some time, definitely. But yeah, we'll be doing next week's going to be Elite Force. We'll be starting to be going through the next chapter of that. The week after, we were going to do Timelines Talks, but we thought, bugger it, let's do something else. We'd probably do a games night. We might do some What the Dub, some picturing and some stuff, something like that.
Scribblio, or whatever it is.
Yeah. We'll do some stuff like that. It should be fun. And then the week after that, we have got the Timelines Talks 3rd annual award show, with the three of us donned up in our suits, walking the red carpet, and joined by none other than Mr. WRG Ben.
Who hopefully will not watch the part of the show where we egg Auto into having.
We may have to go and have a few chats with him now. No, we haven't scared him off from it. But it will be a celebration, and it will be a lot of fun. I've been working on some animations from it, so it's going to be a good ride, and it'll be a way to send out the year before we take a break, before we come back next year with a new schedule, some new shows, and some new fun content, and a new name.
Like, it's going to be vastly different, and it's going to be exactly the same.
It's going to be...
Maybe I'll change what's on my shelves.
I put some new posters up. Look, that's how the progress have changed. I got some new posters up. I completely forgot what I was going to say. I was going to say something. I was going to say Anna Marie! No, it wasn't that.
You were going to say Tara?
If I must. We will see you next week.
End of an era.
Live long and prosper.